blood-soaked march on the Capitol just after 2 a.m. Jane Carmichael has more.
Thank you, Brooke. The damaged women began their protest yesterday afternoon, marching on the National Mall at about 4 p.m., and then marching away furious, saying they were done with Congress once and for all. But then they came back again late last night, insisting that someone in Washington listen to them for once. The late-night protest started with tearful apologies, but quickly moved to anger as marchers demanded that Congress pass a bill making it illegal to say you love someone and then up and leave as soon as there's one little problem.
Why are you ignoring us? Stop ignoring us! Why don't you hear me when I talk to you? Wipe the smirk off of your face. No, come back! Come back because we think that we want you to care about us!
I don't need to pay a therapist to tell me I'm unhappy! I know I'm unhappy!
This is the Onion News Network.
You can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. In the studio tonight is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Richie Rich.
And it's Sunday Fun Day. So we'll talk about all kinds of fun things.
I hope so.
I was thinking maybe it's not like so much Sunday Fun Day, but like Stupid Sunday, because we always talk about like the stupidest stories
That's
that
what
happened
makes it
this
fun.
week. Yeah.
It's a distraction from all the other current events, political nonsense, World War III. Oh my God, the election's coming up. You know,
maybe
BS.
Maybe it wouldn't be stupid because a lot of the things we talk about during the rest of the week are stupid too. Because it's government and politics and all.
But
of
this
that
one is
stuff.
just the news of the bizarre.
the story I brought in today is technically political leaning. It's just ridiculous and stupid and silly and fun.
And that's why we're not going to do it. No, I'm just
So maybe we should just play that right off the bat.
Did we check it? Did we make sure?
I'm just gonna assume it's a political ad. If it gets dumped, whatever, we'll quit the story. But basically, the thing I brought in was Kamala Harris came out with an ad that is supposed to be like appealing to men to try to convince men to vote for her. And honestly, I don't understand if they really truly believe that this is for men and to convince men. I cannot get into the brain of someone who actually believes that would work. It almost feels like you're gonna start thinking, who is this for? Who's this targeted for? Because no like normal man is gonna be like, wow, convincing and beautiful. It seems like a joke.
I'm a man,
joke.
and I endorse this message.
Well, there's like a epidemic of like soy boys though.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
it's a leftist ad trying to figure out what men are, and there's none of them on that side.
Mm-hmm, right.
Like, who knows what these actors are really like? The writing is not natural. It's not, oh, this is what I think of when I think of a good, strong, manly man at all.
You might not remember this commercial. Lori, you might remember this, the old Sprite commercial, the Obey Your Thirst.
Actually sounds familiar.
The B-boys on the basketball court, and they like cut the ad, and he's like, what's my motivation? I played Hamlet at Cambridge. And it's just
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
man, you got to watch that one during the break then. But it was a similar thing, right? I mean, it was a Sprite ad to like reject all the other advertisements that you might see because they're just actors playing a role, and they're not actually basketball players, on the court. They're actors who were theater actors doing a commercial, and it was hilarious. It was a good anti-ad.
I liked the old Real American Hero ones.
Yes,
that were like the most ridiculous, absurd things. And
Real American Heroes.
Too?
No, that was
Budweiser thing.
Bud Light.
But
Bud
guys.
Light. It was Real American Heroes and Real Men of Genius.
Yeah, Real Men of Genius. Yep.
We
But they
salute
were like,
you, Mr. Aloha shirt wearing guy.
Yeah, like the totally average, like nothing. You haven't done anything.
Oh man,
they were great.
There was a playlist, and I had nothing better to do, and I listened to all of them just back to back to back. Those are great.
Like when were these from? Like
the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s. When Bonnie was a fetus.
Yeah. Just a glimmer.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was up to 3.
In the late 90s.
Yeah.
Fetus.
In late 1999.
But the What's Up Guys, the Budweiser Frogs.
Oh, I hated that.
You hated it? Which one?
Both
of them? Budweiser Frogs.
thing. I could not stand it. I thought it was super annoying.
I remember the original like Energizer Bunny commercials before they displayed the bunny. It was just a thumping sound for weeks.
Oh no, I remember like the Energizer Bunny commercials where they would like try to destroy the bunny.
Yeah, it just keeps going and going.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, but that was later.
Oh.
Like the introduction, there was no bunny. It was just a thumping noise. And
I remember those too. Like a whole room will be destroyed, but the Energizer Bunnies Untouched type ones, but not what you're saying.
Because they ran them for long. They ran them for a long time.
Commercials were great when we were kids. They had lots of really good commercials back then. I didn't hate watching them as a kid, and now I cannot stand commercials.
I pirate everything, so like I don't really see any commercials anymore.
One of the commercials that affected my generation more than like any other commercial is there's this stain. Maybe it was like honestly, I don't remember what they were advertising. Maybe it was a Tide pen commercial because there was a stain on somebody's shirt, and it was talking to him and arguing with them, and it was like, you're a stain, and it was like, no, you're a stain, and or something like that. And then so everybody in my whole like middle school and high school called each other a stain. Like, shut up, stain.
That is culturally significant.
Yeah.
We do have a call, so before we play this, we're going to go to the phone and see what Tim would like to talk about. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Are you a man, Tim?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you endorse this message, Tim?
As a man.
As a man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I've never done this before. I've been listening to Free Talk Live for, 10 years or so.
Nice.
I really, really appreciate everything you guys do, everything.
Thank you.
And I hear the show was shutting down. What's her name?
Aria.
Aria, yes. She, the other day, can't remember what day. Okay, I download the podcast. I have an MP3 player.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I listen to, and yeah, I heard that. I can't remember.
The show's not shutting down. I feel that she might have misspoke or something.
Did she shut down the podcast? Because she hasn't done that in a couple of years.
She said that in January, the show is going to go to weekends only.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's not shutting down. So.
Okay. I just put my 5 cents in there. I wish. I know it doesn't happen either way. I love the show. I love liberty. I love freedom. Hey, I'm trying the best I can, as all of you do too, and everybody out there. You know, Sarah, Terry, Bonnie, you know, David from Mexico, all these guys. I love your show, and hey, if you can do it, you can't do it, hey, that's okay. But I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Tim.
And you guys really keep me going on in my life. So.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you listening.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw this out there then, because if Free Talk Live is losing content, there are, I don't want to say an abundance, but there's a handful of other good liberty-oriented podcasts and shows out there. And one of the ones that I listen to on a regular basis, even though he's got like a condensed version on Friday night, is Gardner Goldsmith's Liberty Conspiracy. And he still produces 2 to 3 hours a night, like 5 or 6 nights a week.
Wow.
So if you need liberty content from a really, really intelligent dude, find a way to get that downloaded. It's a little
genuinely
tricky.
Good person too. Like,
I've never met him. It's like one of the few people that I really wanted to meet and just never happened to cross him at any of the events.
I met him once.
Okay.
And Richie has a podcast. And then there's
Don't listen to that one, though.
And then there's the Free Talk podcast too, which is Aria doing a like half-hour long show every week.
And Aria's been like super crazy busy at her other job, but I don't believe she's shutting down the podcast to answer that question.
Yeah, I think that's still running, and then Free Talk Live will still be on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, but pick up Gardner Goldsmith during the week. You got to go to like Substack and create an account and get the download link from there, and then run it through Podlike. It's a little complex, but worth it. If you need that type of content 7 nights a week, you get Free Talk Live on the weekends, you get Gardner Goldsmith during the week, and you're square, in my opinion.
Do you have like an email someone can email you to get instructions?
No, to figure it out. If you're smart enough to figure it out, figure it out. But it's literally like figure it out on Substack. Subscribe to his Substack and then follow the instructions from there.
Oh, that's good. Easy enough.
Yeah. But I heard he was doing it, because he does stuff for like MRC TV, videos for them. he's got his Twitter X account, so you can find ways to get there.
Yeah.
Follow him there.
I think it's just like if you Google Gard Goldsmith or Gardner Goldsmith, you should be able to find him on Twitter. I don't remember the handle. Another 2 good shows are Declare Your Independence by Ernie Hancock, which is on the Free Talk Live network of shows, and Liberty at Night is what they normally go by. Oh wait, Good Morning Liberty is what they normally go by. Those guys are really, really good.
There you go. So load that into your feed reader and pick it up from there.
Tom Woods show.
I'm a man and I approve this message.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. Goodbye.
Thank you, Tim.
So, back to this ad from the Harris Walls campaign about
the koala people.
About the koala. Yeah.
Yeah, I said that on accident during the break. I didn't even hear it myself. I said koala put out an ad and I meant to say Kamala.
I think that's a great name for her. We should just start calling her koala.
It's kind of funny. No one's ever made that joke on purpose that I've noticed or anything. So
because she eats eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know why.
No clue either.
No. All right, so this is the ad about what is it? How to be a man?
No, it's just that men shouldn't be afraid to back Kamala Harris.
They're trying to appeal to men.
They're trying to appeal to men. All right, here we go.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man,
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Okay, please pause. That one right there, he's man enough to, or do you think I'm not man enough to rebuild a carburetor or eat carburetor for breakfast? That man is 500 pounds, just for people who aren't going to watch the ad.
Doesn't mean you can't rebuild a carburetor.
Right.
No, I'm just pointing out that he shouldn't have been giving the line that he will eat a carburetor.
They've got DEI men in the Kamala man.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
Okay.
You can't see it, Richie, but it's the whole rainbow of people and all of that, all different shapes and sizes, of course.
This guy that's showing right now, he's not the one that said he'll eat a carburetor. He's been in countless memes now because he's sitting on the back of a what do they call that, a tailgate?
A tailgate, yeah,
of a truck.
And cars still have carburetors?
He looks very uncomfortable.
I have no idea.
I'm not a car guy, but I feel like the carburetor is a relic of the past.
I have no idea.
Apparently, I learned today that
I don't do any of that.
What its job was to pull oxygen from the air to oxygenate the stuff in the engine. Don't know if that's not necessary now.
I feel like every car I've had doesn't have a carburetor because it's fuel injected. And I feel like it went that way, now it's electric.
Maybe he has classic cars.
Okay, maybe. That's fine.
Yeah.
No idea.
They're expensive now.
But this guy, the one that's sitting on the tailgate, looks
fancy.
So super uncomfortable, like he has never done this before in his life.
And he's sitting so prissy, he has his legs maybe not crossed, but almost, and then his hands are...
So he's not man spreading?
No.
Not a man then.
And then his hands are one on top of the other, sitting on his hip, as
very
if
prissy.
He's like a ballerina being posed to take a picture.
You know when a woman crosses her legs and the moment right before she crosses her legs, when her first leg is lifted, that's exactly what it looks like.
Okay, I'm picturing a dude doing that. You ruined it.
And then you know how a good student will sit at the desk with their hands together on top of each other at attention? He has that but on his hip. Mm-hmm. And it's so gay looking. That's all.
Glad you said it.
Bears, that's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
That is the creepiest thing too. It's this the one guy who's really old and has a big kind of raggedy beard and hair and stuff.
He looks like he just got done stealing copper.
Wrong with that.
Yeah, he looks like he just got done stealing copper. Yes,
nice. Florida man.
Yeah,
he's the guy that his first or one of his first lines. He says, "They want to be in control of their bodies. I say go for it." So creepy. That just doesn't come off as oh, I want to hear my dad say that, so I feel like he respects me.
Also, I'm so glad that men are giving me permission to be in control of my own body, and that they're not afraid of me. Be afraid of me, actually.
No.
In fact.
What men are they appealing to that are afraid of women?
Exactly. That's kind of the thing.
I'm married, so I want them to go over there.
Am I supposed to
be afraid?
Assume that all men are afraid of me until they can admit that they're not? Like,
men
that's
don't
not
cross the street when you walk down the street. They don't like cross the street and they're like, oh no.
We're afraid that you might tell HR
like,
about sexual
no.
harassment.
They dial 911 on their phone and like hold it up to their ear, pretend they're talking to someone. That's what women do, actually. That's what women do at night, like when they're walking.
You dial 911?
Yes.
Okay.
So that way,
just put 911 on speed dial. Then you don't have to press one number. Why are you pre-dialing?
Because then what if you like accidentally speed dial 911?
Yeah, there's
You gotta hold the button down.
Thinking of
Maybe.
trouble for that.
Accidentally.
Maybe.
I don't trust that 911 would do anything. I just have pepper spray.
Yeah, I mean that too, but like, cover all your bases.
Yeah, pre-dial 911 and carry a gun.
Yep, right. So you could be like, I just shot this guy. Hey, 911. I just shot somebody in the face.
Do you I always wonder that. Do you have to call and tell them that?
Yes.
Well,
you have to like report yourself if you hit a dog. Yeah, you got to call somebody if you shoot someone in the face.
So here's some good advice. If you do end up in a firearm discharge situation, you have to be the one to call 911, even if you're a libertarian, anarchist, I hate the cops guy, because the person who calls 911 is presumed to be the victim. And if you have to shoot someone in the face because they're attacking you, you have to be the victim in that situation. So, hey, 911, I was getting attacked and I had to shoot this guy in order to save my own life.
It's just every time I like run through what if that happened in my head, I'm always like, and then they're going to come and be like, I'm on edge because there's a gun around, and then they're going to just shoot me.
Right. So,
well, you just tell them like, I'm putting the gun down in front of me and I'll have my arms up.
Or if the assailant is down and not getting away because you shot him in the face and there's no longer danger, holster it. Just holster it. And when the cops show up, like, don't grab it. Don't go for it again.
I feel like you'd be a lot safer if you just put it on the ground and put your hands up. Because if it's on your hip, they're going to be like, oh, she could grab for it at any moment.
If you reach for it at all, I just have to shoot because I'm MK Ultra.
But if it's on the ground, you got to like bend down to get it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I kind of I've run through this in my own head, and I'm always thinking like, I'll put it on the ground and be far away from it and be like, it's right there, don't touch me, hands up. Yeah, literally.
Right.
But hopefully that never happens.
You're fine if you holster it.
Yeah, probably, maybe.
Exactly. Only
unless
probably
like,
maybe.
Or unless like an acorn hits their car when they're going to get out or something, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're going to be like,
that's
it's her.
fair. That's fair. But if they get to the scene and they see you on your phone and they see a dead guy on the ground, right? They're going to tell you hands up or whatever.
And
you
should just have them up already.
Fine. I'm fine with that too.
The other thing is like, maybe if you call the cops, it'd be a different situation. But if I call a cop to this address, this has been proven. They've been called twice since the raid. They get here all, this is suspicious. This some kind of a trap. Like, they are all on edge and crazy automatically.
Well, out and about holstering.
And by the way, I've never called them.
That's fine. But if you shoot somebody, you got to call them because you got to be the victim.
Oh, I meant, well, I've called the cops before in my life.
Okay.
In a different life, but not in New Hampshire.
I've only ever called once, and it's because I was like literally afraid that I was about to die.
Yeah.
So
if you called the cops and said I shot someone, they already know you have a gun because you shot someone.
Right.
They're aware. They might be a little bit on edge, but you used your firearm in self-defense, and they're there to clean up the mess. Right. So you could throw it on the ground if you want. I wouldn't be that far away from it. Holster, it's fine. Hands in the air is fine. Let them know that you're the victim's fine.
The dead guy gets up and grabs it. That's one thing.
If he's not dead and he's still squirming around, like you're not going to give up your weapon. That's why you have it.
You don't have to like throw it across the parking lot or wherever you are. On the ground either. Just like step away from him and put it on the ground, and then if he like twitches, then shoot him again.
Yeah, but then you got to go get it again.
Yeah. Well, if it's just on the ground in front of you,
holster's fine.
I can't remember how this topic started because they didn't mention anything about shooting. Oh no, we were talking about like why would men be afraid of us? Yeah.
I feel like that's because there's Democrats are soy boys, and so they are afraid of women.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They're appealing to like not the demographic they're trying to appeal to.
Right.
No real man's going like I'm not afraid of women.
Right.
The worst part about this is that there's like they're trying to also make it kind of quote unquote funny, but it obfuscates their point even more because you're like, wait, is this whole thing a joke? Are they?
It's a Saturday Night Live skit.
Exactly, is what it sounds like.
It's like pre-prepared for
They
them.
could do this verbatim and it'd be just as funny.
It was so funny. I watched Jimmy Dore reacting to this, and he was like, I'm man enough to let another man make love to my wife. And it's just stuff like that. Oh my God.
All right. So there's more.
Oh, great.
You have to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Wow.
Right.
She's going to full throat Kamala?
That sounds like that is very gay sound. Like, not gay. It's very...
I mean, that's how Kamala got
charged.
to where she is.
It's like innuendo.
It's like...
It's definitely innuendo.
It's very... It's very cucky.
Yes. And like today I listened to this with a friend, and I was just like, so I had already listened to it before. I watched it with a friend too, and I was like, hey, is that a real saying? Does that come off as somehow off to you?
Right.
And he was
like wholehearted or
that I feel like that's not a real saying. They made it up just for this ad because it's like over the top gay.
Yeah, it sounds extremely strange and like forced and
even
weird,
if full-throated is a normal term, it
doesn't sound right.
It's like not common at the very least.
I'm a real man, and I would totally let Kamala peg me because I'm not afraid.
Exactly.
I'm
right.
not afraid.
That's same energy. Same energy.
Oh my God.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when
that one's funny. The donuts is funny.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's what I keep thinking.
It's a shot at JD Vance, who doesn't know how to order a donut.
I didn't know that.
He did a campaign thing. He went into a donut shop. He was awkward. He asked the clerk, he's like, hey, so how long have you worked here? And she's like, about like a year and a half. He's like, oh, okay. So I'm here to buy some donuts.
Oh my God.
And the clerk's like, oh, what kind of donuts would you like, sir? He's like, I don't know, like the normal kind, just whatever you think is best. Like he didn't know how to order a donut.
That's weird.
That makes me think he's just like out of touch, like super rich or something.
Yes.
Or maybe he just doesn't eat donuts.
But then don't do a campaign stop at a donut shop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true.
It's just it's crazy how often politicians are outed as being totally not regular people.
Who was it that was grilling hot dogs and they were like, the grill wasn't even on?
Oh, and they put the cheese on the raw hot dog?
Yeah,
or the raw hamburgers?
On the raw hamburgers.
Oh, man.
That?
Chuck Schumer.
Raw hamburgers with cheese on top, cooking on the grill.
Then there's Obama saying that he went to go buy arugula, and the arugula prices are so high while he's trying to
daily
sound
arugula or whatever he was saying.
Yeah, he's trying to make it sound like, everyone does that. And at the time, legit, my parents didn't even know what arugula was.
I mean, arugula is fine, but I definitely don't go buy it every week.
I'm a spinach and romaine guy.
But even
I'm a man.
If I was
and I
trying
eat spinach like Popeye because I'm a man.
The average person was trying to say to you, oh my God, groceries are high, and they're going to give an example, they'd say something like eggs. They wouldn't even say spinach.
They wouldn't say arugula for sure.
Exactly.
Milk, eggs, and bread.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, the staples.
Yes.
Another one was that Obama was supposed to hit a baseball for some event, and it was like, oh, our president is going to hit the baseball, and he hits it like a terrified girl.
Okay.
Just all these things
where baseball.
I'm not saying.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be like, it's going to hit me.
I know how to swing the bat. I just can't aim the bat very well at the ball.
You have to be great at it or something. This was just whoa, that was embarrassing. And I think he actually got to run.
No problem.
He's running like a girl too.
I just picture an actual girl's first time up at the bat, and she's like, afraid of the ball.
Me? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it going to hit me?
Probably me.
603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
A new study finds most high school graduates are woefully unprepared for high school, and a bag of flour has a slave auction on its front. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, Secretary of Labor Thomas Perez unveiled plans to boost the nation's struggling job market by giving every unemployed American a self-serve yogurt shop, saying that the frozen yogurt business model is robust, profitable, and that they've pretty much exhausted other options. Perez explained that owners will be responsible for stocking their own topping bars with items such as Oreo crumbles, minced kiwi, cashew chews, and gummy bears. Estimates indicate the country will need to increase daily consumption of frozen yogurt by approximately 2.3 gallons per person in order for the new stores to remain solvent. And in this week's local news, something is apparently going on between a mom and her friend. In other news, Taco Bell warns its employees against ever exposing their skin to its food. A sad man tears 2 bananas off of a larger bunch, and a new report finds everything you've ever wanted has been right in front of you all along.
This is the Onion News Network.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The UN Secretary-General is condemning the growing number of civilian casualties in northern Gaza as Israeli military operations resume there. Antonio Guterres is warning that civilians must be protected at all times amid reports that people queuing for food were targeted by an Israeli military assault at the Jabalia refugee camp. Israel says it is investigating those reports. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says indirect messages between Tehran and Washington have stopped due to the worsening regional situation. From FSN's bureau in Baghdad, Stuart Smith reports.
Foreign Minister Araghchi noted that Oman had previously been a useful indirect channel of communication between Iran and the United States, which is Israel's strongest military ally, but that, Araghchi said, had stopped due to the escalation of fighting in the Middle East over the past few weeks. Communication will not resume, he said, until the crisis is over. The region is on edge, awaiting Israel's response to Iran's rocket attack earlier in the month. Tel Aviv has promised it'll be lethal, precise and surprising, a plan which has reportedly been decided upon but awaits political approval.
In the US presidential election, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the race completely deadlocked nationally. The vice president has again urged her rival to release his medical records after she made hers public over the weekend. She's also launched a new initiative to win the votes of African American men after former President Barack Obama said last week that he is concerned by reports that some of them oppose the idea of a black woman in power. Kamala Harris spoke today to prominent black journalist Roland Martin.
Having the lowest black unemployment in recent history, the work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level. Your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score.
Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law governing foreign agents. Laurent Vinatier was arrested in June. He worked for a Swiss NGO focused on conflict resolution and denied all the charges against him, saying he was unaware his registration as a foreign agent was required. The Europa Clipper, NASA's latest spacecraft, has begun its 1.8 million-mile journey to reach Europa, a moon orbiting Jupiter. It aims to hunt for signs of life, but won't reach its destination, if all goes well, until 2030. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin is a lesson that too many people have learned the hard way. It's always best to get your crypto into a wallet that you control, but not all wallets are equal. Many of our hosts have been using Edge for years to manage crypto, and there just aren't many wallets to compare. Featuring a unique login system that makes it easier for you to access your crypto from multiple devices, Edge is designed to be user-friendly. In a space that can be notoriously difficult for non-tech people, Edge is a valuable tool for novices and experts alike. You can learn more at edge.app, which features a link at the top for those who wish to learn more about crypto and wallets. Thank you to Edge for sponsoring Free Talk Live for $1,500 a month. And again, learn more at visitedge.app.
So let me comment real quick on the whole crypto thing, because this is how early we are. People always say like, oh, we're so early, even though we're, 14, 15 years into this thing. I'm following this company on X because they're about to release a video game peripheral, and they're releasing it in like limited quantities. So I'm like, oh, I got to get in. I got to like pay attention, and I got notifications turned
What's a
off.
peripheral exactly?
Well, this particular one lets you export your Nintendo Switch games onto your computer.
Oh.
And also transfer games from your computer onto the little peripheral game card thing. And it's a way to back up your games.
Oh, okay.
So it borderlines on piracy.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, okay, for this launch, we're only going to take cryptocurrency. And Twitter flipped out. Like people are like, no, you just lost our business. You're such a scam.
It's
Right.
so easy to just go get some though.
People
It's easy for you.
For
but that's
no
what I'm saying.
reason, people think it's a scam too. Like people are gonna think, no, like sometimes you just say something about crypto and people are like,
Scam.
no way, I'm getting into any of that. No way. It's like they instantly think it's a scam just because crypto is brought
What were
up.
those
It's
little
so
like?
stupid.
What were those little like pictures that people were using for a while?
NFTs.
I feel like that really colored people's
That's so
opinions
true.
of crypto. Like,
That's a scam.
Yes, that's a scam.
And it's
So
so
when it
true.
came out, I was like, those are so stupid. And I feel like that's what people heard about, like the normie people. They
Yeah.
heard about NFTs and they were like, oh, all crypto's a scam.
I feel like that was
they
by
just linked
design.
it. Of course.
Back then, I was saying the same exact thing. I was like, now people are going to think like this is all that crypto is, and that's totally what happened.
Yeah.
But they posted another update, and they're like, oh, should we take a poll to open up like other payment methods? And I commented, I'm like, troll these guys by in the poll only listing other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Like, making a list of different cryptocurrencies that you will accept for launch of this new product.
That's just so awesome. More people need to, if they have something that they're selling that they can swing it, tell people they're only taking crypto.
Yes. I was like, wonderful. Like, oh, there was going to be a big run on the website because they're limited quantities, and they're like, they're limiting how many you can buy, and
That's
all
a
this.
good strategy then.
Yes. And then but all the people that were dropping off, like, okay, good. Look, release the limit. Let me buy more. I'll buy a few of these things.
Mhm.
But
That
we'll see
is
how
so
it
cool.
goes. But yeah, it's a cool little device, and again, I want one.
I'm sure at least a few people were inspired to get crypto just for that launch.
No, that's the thing. Maybe a few.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of commenters were like off the rails. It's a scam. You can't trust these people. There's no protection for the buyers. You just ruined your whole reputation by only accepting crypto for this launch.
There's no protection for you if you go to the grocery store with cash and lose your receipt.
Yeah, but if you go PayPal, you can get a charge back and do all this other stuff.
Sometimes, but like somebody I know got scammed for real on not PayPal but
eBay?
Cash App.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
And she called her bank. She called Cash App. They said, "Sorry, we can't reverse it."
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
how
like,
Cash App rolls.
And that
like,
is
once
always
it's
the
sent, that's it.
That is
you gotta
always
ask for it back.
It might have been Venmo. Honestly, it's
think
either
Venmo's
Venmo
the
or
same.
Cash App. But yeah, it's like you always hear like, well, at least with something other than crypto, you can get them to reverse it. Not always. Not even a bank.
All sketchy things that I do, like any sketchy payment that I do where I'm worried about my money being like scammed out of me because I'm using some sketch website, I always do PayPal because I can just get it back.
Right. But even
That's the
though
way.
it's like for gaming and retro gaming, it's a very tech forward industry because they're always releasing new hardware for old tech. Right. And you got like a whole bunch of people within that group, right? Like anti-crypto at this point, or at least, for whatever reason, like I'm like, that's how real we are. Even they haven't figured out it's so hard to get crypto. I'm like, no, it's not.
It's not.
You just haven't tried hard enough.
And the thing is, like,
Very
that's
easy.
so womanly because, like, every time I talk to like other women about crypto, they're like, or that are nowhere near into it. They're always saying to me, and the thing is, I even felt this way before. Like when I started being interested, but didn't get any yet. I was like, I just wish I had a boyfriend that was into it that could explain it all to me and learn it for me. And that's like just a thing that women do a lot, and I've done a lot. And I know that it's like it can totally be overcome. I'm not saying, oh, women can't understand crypto. I hate that idea that women can't understand crypto, but a lot of times women will convince themselves like just need to have a man figure it out for them. And I've done that with lots of different things. But men doing that just to get a video game is like, wow, womanly. Spiritually transgender is a term people have been using.
You've been called out, Twitter.
I make Stu deal with all the crypto stuff, but like I could if I wanted to. I just don't really want to. I have enough things. So
Get in on it. It's early.
yeah. Well, I mean, he does all of that.
Oh, see?
He does all of that for me.
I was the opposite and it was, turned into one of those not your keys, not your coin situations. Like, I didn't want to think about it. And my ex, handled the money. And so she handled it. And I didn't want to think about it. Yes, badly.
Yeah, okay.
That was a question mark, but it sounded like a statement.
Yeah.
I handle the money that I can hold, and he handles the money that
you can't hold.
Okay. So,
which is
I feel
weird
like it
because you
works
rely
out.
on him in
I mean, I
emergency.
don't know how to-
You have the emergency funds.
I don't know how to change a tire.
I don't know how to change a tire either.
Not that hard.
No, yeah, it's not hard.
Requires a little bit of strength.
It's not even like I'm like, oh, there's no way I could learn. I could easily learn.
Yeah.
Just never needed to.
I've done things like help my dad. My dad was a mechanic growing up, and I've helped him change serpentine belts and things like that. But I don't know how to change a tire because I've never had to because I don't drive. I'm sure I could figure it out really fast. It doesn't look complicated.
And the
I've
one
seen it
time my
happen.
tire went flat while I was driving ever, I called my dad. I was like, what do I do? And I was passing a Tractor Supply, and he was like, oh, perfect, go in there. And I just went in there.
Fine
like,
man.
Can someone please do this for me? And they did. So it's fine.
Yeah, there'll always be in Tractor Supply. There'll always be a man.
That was the best place you could possibly be
right
passing. If it was
a
Tractor
Home
Supply, it's
Depot,
something like that.
Or just get some AAA and then just hang out.
Yeah, I have that now, so I'm not worried about learning to change a tire.
I don't drive, so I don't worry about it at all.
There you go.
Yeah. So we were watching this Koala Harris ad.
Koala Harris.
About all these
man.
If she if she becomes president and then she's visiting Australia, then people are going to start stealing our joke.
That's okay. Trademark it now. We've done it first.
TM. So they're talking about how they're men and they're not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women. 'cause I'm a
Revolutionary.
man.
The women, they're going to allow women to control their own bodies.
Revolutionary.
Yep.
Also a misnomer, right? That whole thing. We don't have to get into it, but it's a misinterpretation of what's actually going on.
I do have an abortion story if you guys are interested, but that's not very super fun.
An abortion story or an abortion store? Because it sounded like you said, I do have an abortion store.
No.
I'll just say in general, when it comes to healthcare, they conflate health insurance with healthcare. Right? You can get healthcare. You just have to pay for it on your own.
Yeah,
and they want other people to pay for it, which is why they make the conflation.
Yep, I see all these ads for Nikki Haley here. No, it's her opponent. I forget what her name is, but I see the ads all the time. They're talking Kelly Ayotte. One of them. No, they're Nikki Haley ads.
Oh,
so for one of them, they're like, "Oh, she voted to defund Planned Parenthood," and I'm like, "Good." That's not what your taxes should be going to.
Exactly. That's the main thing I think when I see that.
Planned Parenthood can run as a charity if they want to.
Whether you think that people should be allowed to have abortions or not, that's not where tax money should be going, is to Planned Parenthood ever.
Yeah, and they do other stuff, and I still don't think that tax dollars should be going to fixing people's chlamydia either.
Right.
Yep.
Screening people's chlamydia.
Or anything having to do with someone else's health care.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But they conflate it. They go, "Oh, you're going to the federal government's not going to pay for it. That means we can't get it." No, you can. You just got to pay for it out of your own pocket.
I meant I have an abortion story as in an article we could discuss if any of the listeners. I figured you guys knew that, but I don't want any of the listeners to think I was saying I have a story about my abortion. Never had an abortion.
Yeah.
And
never needed an abortion.
Your husband's in jail.
If
he finds out you had an abortion while he's in
going to
jail.
be very upset. He's going to be like, "How did this happen, Bonnie?"
Well, have you heard the story of Mary?
Yeah.
In the Bible.
I think
Yes.
that
Way
think
to
that was
commit to your story, Mary.
I feel like that was a one-time story and it could never be used again. She was the only one.
But
that could
how
do it.
this would be the worst time to immaculately conceive now.
'Cause your
I'd be
husband's in
run
jail?
out of the community. He's in jail and he's fixed.
So we still have about half of this.
Comes out looking like Riley.
This ad.
What does that mean?
Because he's sitting there and teasing him.
Oh.
Riley would know.
Oh, the baby comes out looking like Riley. I thought you were saying Ian comes out of prison looking like Riley, so I was so confused.
That'd be weird.
Yeah,
That'd
it just
be
comes
just
out
as weird.
looking like Riley, and I was like, listen, it's an immaculate conception. Who would believe that? Who would believe it? Anybody who did would be crazy. And then I just have to go live in a different state and accept my fate.
Leave in shame.
Yeah.
See, but now what if it actually happens? Now Bonnie just made this woman a pariah.
And Ian turns into Riley in prison.
So we still have like half of this ad.
Oh my goodness! All right.
About how
manly.
I don't even think I watched till the end. I feel like this is about how far I got into it. It's just that, cringy.
Well, I mean, it's gold. It's comedy gold.
I agree.
All right, so here we go.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women
Use an app.
from reading Little Women.
Or one of those.
What? Man enough to not
ban young women from reading Little Women.
Oh, okay.
The book.
The
and
book.
the thing
I was
about
like, what? What does that even mean?
The thing about the directions, it's almost like AI wrote this because it's like you said, we have Waze and Google Maps on our phones. Everyone does. And it's ridiculous to think that that's like a normal talking point. Like, my husband will never ask for directions. Ha ha ha. That doesn't happen.
No.
Nowadays.
I know my way to the studio, and on my way in today, there was an accident blocking, the highway.
Oh no.
And so I had to deviate from my route.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no signs or posted. And I just turned on the maps. I went, okay,
Right.
let me look at the roads and let me see which roads turn my way back to where I need to be further down. And no problem.
Right, that's not a real thing anymore.
It's not a thing anymore.
This is written by like a 70-year-old white woman.
And the banned books, also a conflation.
Right.
There's not even really book bans.
Right, there's not really book bans.
Go to the bookstore, pay the money for your book.
Everybody was mad
It's
at me
available.
Everybody was mad at me about my book ban stories because I can't think of a better word to use there when they ban them from schools.
What is the reality then? Okay, they're just banned
ban
out
them
of
from schools, but it's still
schools.
a ban.
Okay.
But you can get the books.
You can get the books.
You don't have to only read what the school assigns.
Right, but there's
you can read for leisure.
But there's no better word to use for that.
It's got to be something French.
It's always a point.
Right. Maybe German.
Le ban?
Yeah.
I just can't get over that birth control is called anti-baby pillen in German.
I love
big
German
word.
so much. It is such a fun language.
Obviously, I said it as like Americanized as possible so people know what I was saying, but it's all one word. Anti-baby pillen.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. German's fun. It's like weird English.
Doesn't even look like English.
A lot of the words are like just English words and like the funniest way you could say them.
Okay.
So, with a German accent, it's fun. So let's see what else is super manly about these guys that are voting for Kamala.
Pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked.
Okay, that one.
Raw dog a flight?
Have you not heard of this?
No, I'm familiar with this.
Yeah.
I was not until today. I had to. That's why I did get at least this far in the clip. My
Okay.
bad. But I watched somebody reacting to it the second time, and then they explained it. I guess I'll explain it for the listeners. Is that you take a flight, but you don't take any upgrades to your seat or like getting a juice when they come by.
Or
you do nothing.
Yeah, you do nothing. You don't
So
take
weird.
You don't have your phone. You don't have a.
It's like, what is
PC or
manly
laptop.
about taking a crappy plane ride and not drinking?
Yeah, they say that it's like, oh, you're like meditating. Like
That's fine.
Contemplating.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's fine, but like the fact that you need a word for this thing that you're all doing and you're all gonna like join together and be like, we're raw dogging flights, is not manly at all.
Not manly. It's
I'm
like,
mad enough to carry a laptop and 3 video game consoles and a bunch of snacks.
I'm man enough to have a Merce.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think that it's almost like ridiculous that they think going without my video games for 2 hours is like this big, huge accomplishment. That's worse.
Some people have done it for like 16, 24-hour flights. That's like commendable, but why?
There's no reason.
There's no reason.
I play Angry Birds on flights, and it doesn't make me like weak or a loser.
You know who's super manly is people in solitary confinement, apparently. Because they also
raw
have
dogging
nothing
life.
to do. They're raw dogging life.
Whoa. Terrible.
Yep, just all the time.
That's awful.
Yep.
Continue.
So what else? Oh no, I skipped backwards.
That's okay.
Let's see.
Catch up on some of the stuff we talked over. Press the button.
I'm looking for where I just was.
Press the button.
Okay, here we go.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight.
Perfect.
It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
All right.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
I can. Okay, so I kind of understand that one.
No,
Like,
okay. That's to toxic masculinity thing.
Yes,
like
it absolutely is.
telling men that they can't have emotions. It's disgusting. But like,
but it's there.
It's there.
And it's a thing.
But to say that like that's an aspect of being manly, that's just an aspect of being human.
That's
like,
a good
you
point,
should just
because
be
am
able
I
to
being
have
manly
emotions.
when I'm
Right.
emotional in front of my husband?
You're very manly, Bonnie, right now.
It's not that
when you
it's
have
not that you're
emotions.
manly. It's that there are women out there that if you get emotional like that in front of them, you are no longer a romantic opportunity for them.
They're for the streets.
I feel so bad
Fine.
for men who are in a situation like that, because
But it's there. Like that's a real thing.
I've seen descriptions of it online. You know, you never know what's going on when you read something online. But
And it
people are
starts
saying
childhood.
It does.
like
Man
their,
up.
their
Rub
wife
some dirt in it.
or girlfriend or whatever told them like, I'm not attracted to you anymore ever since I saw you cry that one day. That's
Yes.
insane.
That's awful.
It's horrible. Ian's only cried in front of me like once ever, and it was about his dog Jazzy.
Anytime I see a man cry, I immediately also cry.
I know.
Because it never happens, and you're like, oh no.
Oh,
It's crazy.
okay. I cry for sports.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in
Like
a
if your sports
beautiful
team
way?
loses?
Yes.
Oh,
No,
because
in a
I
beaut-
Uh-huh.
I
Again,
understand
I
that.
watch a lot of wrestling. I watch a lot of UFC fights, and if the fight's good or it's like a highlight, oh man, I will
They
tear
just
up.
did so well. You just sort of like, wow, the human body can do amazing things type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Because I understand that with movies. In fact, me and Lori were saying we do that. If a movie is like so, oh my God, how'd they think of that? That's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Then I will cry.
I don't cry at a lot of
Yeah,
movies.
sometimes.
Sports, all the time.
It depends on the movie. Like, I don't cry at every movie, every sad moment in every movie, but like there are some movies that get me.
To me, it's less likely if it's a sad moment than if it's just like a dang, mind blown, beautiful, wow, artistic, wonderful.
You know, everybody laughs at me because of this, but like one movie that made me cry was Click with Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay.
So that
yeah, that was
part,
sad towards the end.
yeah, that part where he like realizes that he missed out on everything.
Everything? Yeah.
Like it just hit me like in the gut, and I was like, no, it was so sad.
Yep.
It makes me sad right now.
Never seen it.
Such a
Choking
girl.
up.
So
I was reading reading an article for the podcast yesterday, and it got to like the Thomas Jefferson quote about refreshing the tree of liberty, and I choked up a little bit reading that again.
I definitely choke up about Liberty stuff. I cried telling my little brother about Tank Man, and I always cry when I see the actual video.
So I think it's because for me, like when I see a man cry, it makes me sad too. Like, and I cry, is because I grew up with a dad who's like, you know, boomer generation.
I'll give you a reason to cry.
They don't cry. And like the first time I saw him cry was when his dad died, and we were in the car, and he just like started. We were just me and him in the car, and he just started crying. Like I was just a kid, and like it broke my soul because I'd never seen my dad cry before. So now it's like programmed into me. And then the second time I saw him cry was when my mom died. So like, so now anytime I see a man cry, I'm like, oh no, this has to be like earth shattering.
Yeah.
So
Except when I do it over sports.
Except
Not
when you do it
earth-shattering at
over
all.
sports, yeah.
I'm just manly enough to cry when
Right.
I feel like it.
to have emotions.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like men should have emotions.
I'm mostly anger. I will admit that. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's like that.
crying over anger, yeah.
No, I don't
Oh.
cry when I'm angry. I express the male emotion of anger more than any other emotion. And then I also cry when watching
I've never
good sports.
cried out of anger either, and I hear about that a lot from men and women, but I don't think I've ever cried out of anger.
No, me neither. I've cried out of frustration.
Just dust my eye, man.
Yeah, even
like
when I
being
cry
so
out of frustration,
frustrated that like I cry.
even when I've cried out of frustration, I can only get like a tear out, and it's more frustrating. Do
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
I
it's
hate
like
that.
a really quick cry.
Yeah,
And that's it.
exactly.
It's not like an emotional cry. It's just like I have to squeeze all of this frustration out of my body.
I hate quick cries in general. They're just so annoying.
I hate crying in general because it makes your throat feel like it's gonna like close up. I hate that
To
feeling.
me, it makes my
I don't think I've ever had that.
Oh,
my
it's awful. My
nose-
throat
Okay.
gets all like I get verklempt, you know?
Oh.
I get that, but in my nose, like my nose is just stopped up for the rest of the night or whatever. And then my eyes will be swollen the next day, and if I cry a lot, it's horrible.
So emotions are just a human thing. It's not just manly.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called
Predator.
men.
Yep. I'll throw it up there for Predator.
I've seen Predator, but I've never seen like Love Actually, or I forget what the other
Good Will
one.
Hunting. No, I've
Oh,
never
I've seen Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I
My
don't think I've
sister
seen
has
Love
told me
Actually.
that's like
It didn't
so
make
good.
me cry. I found that scene where
It's
he
worth
was
watching.
like, I found that scene where he was like, my wife died, to be kind of like over the top, and I did not cry.
Okay.
It was a little much.
I
But I also don't find Robin Williams to be enjoyable. I know that that's a blasphemous statement. Most people are like, how dare you? Robin Williams is a gift to the world.
I'm not like obsessed with him, but I do really like him. I liked him in Munchausen thing. It has a long name.
I haven't seen it.
He plays like the moon. It's a really weird, super weird movie. It's super long.
His comedy style, I might like him better in like serious movies because his comedy style is just not for me. It's so exaggerated and over the top that I don't find it funny.
It's the cocaine.
Yeah, the cocaine, right. I also don't like cocaine, so so it makes sense.
I know I've seen Mrs. Doubtfire, but it was never like something I like, oh, I love this movie and watched it a lot.
Can't make that movie today.
No, you could not. No.
And the Peter Pan one was always like a bit annoying to me. I would way rather see the Disney Peter Pan.
Oh, wait. I liked him in Hook.
Oh, that's what I
Peter
meant.
Pan one that she's talking about.
Yeah.
My bad.
I liked him in Hook. That was the only one.
It's not that I hated it or something, but the Disney one is like what I want to see. So beautiful.
If you want to see him not funny, watch 1 Hour Photo. Not funny.
No? Okay. I might.
All right.
Maybe it's not the over the topness though, because I liked Jim Carrey.
He's over the top.
Okay.
He's over the top.
He's a human cartoon.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I know. He's fun.
Did you see him? He just recently came out and said, I don't exist. And he was saying,
do we exist?
He's only ever been a character anytime you've seen him.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder how many other celebrities are that way.
A lot of them, I'm sure.
Probably.
Like most of their reason for living is
you only get to see their public
acting.
persona.
Yeah, a public persona. Like that's what they get paid on.
Ariana Grande, she's always talking like get yourself in here, but she's like a white girl and she like talks like
is she white?
Ghetto. She's Italian, yeah. In fact, she tans a lot because
she
was
like Mexican.
No, I always thought the same thing because of her last name. In fact, she pronounced it Grand at the beginning of her career the whole time, and then people would just keep saying Grande because that's like how we're used to it.
And nobody was like, "Don't pretty up dirt."
And now,
no one did that to her.
No,
one
what?
called her out.
Don't what?
From Joe Dirt when he's like, "It's a deer tay."
Oh, no, I've never seen it.
Oh.
Find the comparison of Ariana Grande where they're comparing her to like the Disney cartoon Little Mermaid and then the live action Little Mermaid because she looks like both.
Dang. Yeah, because when she was in Nickelodeon, she had red hair and she basically was more of a white girl looking girl. And then
I didn't know she was on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, she was in a show called Victorious. Well,
no idea.
The reason I actually brought her up was to say she used to talk all like she was black, try to look black, even in hairstyles and stuff. And lots of black people get annoyed with it. Honestly, kind of understandable. It's
like they call
trying
it
so hard.
Code switching.
Yes, but right now she's going to be in the movie Wicked in like a month, and so all of her interviews and public persona has completely changed. She's super skinny, blonde, and talks extremely proper. And
is she on the Ozempic?
Probably. She's super thin, and but anyway, she completely has changed. It's just that she's a character either way.
I think they all are. 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's FFF at FFF.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
The latest episode of Free Talk Live continues with Hour 2 up next after the news here at listen.freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The UN Secretary-General is condemning the growing number of civilian casualties in northern Gaza as Israeli military operations resume there. Antonio Guterres is warning that civilians must be protected at all times amid reports that people queuing for food were targeted by an Israeli military assault at the Jabalia refugee camp. Israel says it is investigating those reports. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says indirect messages between Tehran and Washington have stopped due to the worsening regional situation. From FSN's bureau in Baghdad, Stuart Smith reports.
Foreign Minister Araghchi noted that Oman had previously been a useful indirect channel of communication between Iran and the United States, which is Israel's strongest military ally, but that, Araghchi said, had stopped due to the escalation of fighting in the Middle East over the past few weeks. Communication will not resume, he said, until the crisis is over. The region is on edge, awaiting Israel's response to Iran's rocket attack earlier in the month. Tel Aviv has promised it'll be lethal, precise and surprising, a plan which has reportedly been decided upon but awaits political approval.
In the US presidential election, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the race completely deadlocked nationally. The vice president has again urged her rival to release his medical records after she made hers public over the weekend. She's also launched a new initiative to win the votes of African American men after former President Barack Obama said last week that he is concerned by reports that some of them oppose the idea of a black woman in power. Kamala Harris spoke today to prominent black journalist Roland Martin.
Having the lowest black unemployment in recent history. The work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level. Your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score.
Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law governing foreign agents. Laurent Vinatier was arrested in June. He worked for a Swiss NGO focused on conflict resolution and denied all the charges against him, saying he was unaware his registration as a foreign agent was required. The Europa Clipper, NASA's latest spacecraft, has begun its 1.8 million-mile journey to reach Europa, a moon orbiting Jupiter. It aims to hunt for signs of life, but won't reach its destination, if all goes well, until 2030. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, what should Western governments be doing about the crisis in the Middle East, given that they appear unwilling to use the leverage they do have over the Israelis? President Biden again last week indicated disquiet over the actions of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but again stopped short of threatening to take any reprisals against Israel, like suspending weapons shipments. So what to do? Lord Peter Ricketts is a former senior British diplomat. He chaired the UK's Joint Intelligence Committee under Prime Minister Tony Blair.
Clearly, there is no useful diplomatic leverage on Netanyahu. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is getting worse and worse as Israel is beginning to shepherd hundreds of thousands of people south from the north of Gaza, which they're going back to attacking. So I think humanitarian support, and I think continuing to look at what happens when finally a ceasefire comes, both in Gaza and southern Lebanon. Because wars do always end sometime, and there needs to be a plan. I don't see any sign of an Israeli strategy, but I think that the British government, with the French, the Americans and others, ought to be working now to make sure there's a viable plan for the day that comes, perhaps after Netanyahu's left office, where we can get back to some kind of political settlement.
And he says that Netanyahu's policy of security at any cost is not working. We'll hear more about that tomorrow. The main news again, Israel says it is investigating reports that civilians were killed as they queued for food at a refugee camp in northern Gaza. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are both campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the US presidential race completely deadlocked. And Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law requiring foreign agents to register. And that is the latest feature story news. Simon Marks reporting.
For over 12 years, Halverson Enterprises CEO Peter Weathers has taken a hands-on approach in all aspects of the tech firm's growth and day-to-day business. But employees say the executive's true talent lies in his unique ability to recognize great ideas and then absolutely ruin them.
For as long as I've worked here, Peter has been able to sit down in a meeting, listen to a million different ideas, pick out the one that makes the most sense creatively and financially, and then totally destroy it until there's basically nothing worthwhile about it left. He's remarkable.
Employees throughout the company say they're most impressed by Weathers' ability to water down promising ideas with meaningless jargon, consistently choose the wrong person to head up every project, and inject virtually every halfway decent thought with his own short-sighted and terrible insights.
At our all-hands meeting the other week, our team put forth a very feasible plan to boost productivity, and it was really incredible to see Peter's mind at work, just taking every good aspect of our proposal and dismantling it like a small child.
This is the Onion News Network.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency made for spending. You can pay your bills with Dash at spritz.finance. Plus, they send you dollars to your bank if you still need those for something. Thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month for this sponsorship. It's easy to get and use Dash. You can learn more at dash.org. That's dash.org. In the studio is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Rich.
So we were talking about this Kamala Harris ad about how men are so manly to vote for Kamala, and we still have...
Is it bad enough to turn away people who are already thinking about voting for Kamala?
That's what it seems like would happen.
I don't think it's going to get any manly men already voting for Trump to switch.
Yeah.
This is not the right ad for that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's bad enough to turn them away, because I feel like if you have the same values that are being espoused by that group, you might be like, yeah.
Okay.
This is
So
me.
It's just a waste of money then?
Yeah, it's just a waste of money.
All right. Continue.
All right.
Domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful. That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge. And I'm man enough to help them win.
It's just like, imagine you're a woman out there, just a single young person, you don't have a family. It's like, why do you need the love of a random grown man? I don't. It's weird. Like,
so
it's an odd thing to say.
I mean,
hate the internet.
Yes, it's odd that you need the love of these random men, but I will say that it makes sense for the leftists because they are all about external validation. Everything they do, they need to be validated about it. Everything about them. They want everyone else to validate their choices and how they want to live instead of just being secure within one's own self and being like, I don't really care what you think, which is how you should live your life.
Yeah, like I'm just living my life because I want to live it that way, not because I am wondering if you accept me. And it's just like without the internet, we wouldn't be getting in each other's heads like this and hearing, I am man enough to love a woman without a family. And it's just like, why do you love them? Weird.
Right.
I also don't want to blame the whole internet. Right?
Yeah.
Like that is not my internet experience at all.
No.
I shouldn't have said like the whole internet shouldn't exist or something, but
I feel like social media. I actually bought a shirt last week that says social media was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like social media is a terrible pool of bad opinions.
It's just like a go so back and forth because sometimes I love it.
I still maintain that you guys are just using it wrong.
I don't use it for that. I just use it for memes and stuff.
I go back and forth because sometimes like I'm like, oh, it's just been like disturbing me all day. Even actually, like I'll get served something that literally leaves me disturbed all day.
Yeah.
But then like just now, like right as the show was coming back on, I just replied to this girl who like I just put an innocent little comment about like my experience with my texture of hair because of something somebody else had already brought the context up.
Yeah.
And now like me and all these people are having a like, dude, me too moment about like something very specific about my hair texture and their hair texture. And it's like, stuff like that wouldn't happen without the internet.
Yeah.
So like there's like, I just go back and forth.
But that's not my experience, right? Like before the Facebook algorithm, and I was on Facebook, right? I subscribed to like the Mises Institute, the Cato Institute, the Foundation for Economic Education, like all of these Liberty, the Fraser Institute, and their authors. And since the algorithm wasn't figuring stuff out, like that was my whole news feed.
Yeah.
I just got, economics and liberty information all the way through it. And even on X, since I brought it up earlier, right, that particular news feed, the only thing I subscribe to is people involved with like the retro video game community and the people making hardware for that community. Right? There's no drama there.
I was going to say, do they have drama amongst themselves?
They do. They do. But I'm like, I skip those.
Yeah.
Right?
So is like targeted AI the problem then? Like what is it that's making, I don't know.
People interacting with it.
All right.
Right? When
true.
there's drama, I scroll by. And the only reason that there was like the moderate drama earlier was because I was engaged with that conversation because I thought it was funny that people were getting all upset about the cryptocurrency thing.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, this is interesting that this community is so anti-crypto. You would think that being that forward-facing in technology, they'd be more for it. And so it was eye-opening to me, but, I don't follow the drama.
I feel like something that has existed since the beginning of the internet is the tendency for people to like spew vitriol at each other simply because you are anonymous, like you're behind a username. And I feel like that's one of the things that makes the internet not such a fun place a lot of the time.
Sure.
I love the internet.
But I have successfully avoided that for most of my internet, viewing time.
I have like...
And before the internet, right, I used to be at my grandma's house and she used to be peeking out the window to see what the neighbors were doing. Like, just leave them alone, Grandma.
My parents say the
focus
same
on the
thing
inside
about
of the house.
their grandparents, that they would literally watch out the...
Yeah. So there were always these
Now if you see
busybodies,
somebody-
now they're just online.
If I see somebody doing that now, I'm like, that's a crackhead.
But either way,
Looking out the window.
right, there's always busybodies. They just migrated online to social media, and you've opened up the floodgates for them to comment, post on whatever
I'm
it is.
sure all the old people nowadays that normally would be doing that, like looking out their front window, even that would probably be more healthy than what they're doing. They're on Facebook and they're falling for AI pictures, and they're like, I can't even believe this
man.
about a stupid AI picture.
So many people like, oh, can you believe my 3-year-old carved this wooden sculpture with a chainsaw? And all the old people are like, that's amazing. What a gift.
That's
that doesn't
crazy.
hit my feed. Never seen anything like that.
Maybe because I think it's funny, so I see these things.
I didn't get served like the actual content that she's talking about, but I get served like people laughing about it happening.
Right. Okay.
Like
Right.
people saying like, oh my God, they put out this obvious AI picture of a little kid crying wearing like a life vest and saying, this poor little girl was found floating in the river after Hurricane Helene hit Florida, whatever. And so like 100,000 old people liked it and shared it and probably would have given money.
Yeah,
But
and
their
they'll be, like-
eyesight's bad.
And I mean, my eyesight's not great. And I wear my glasses all the time, but I can tell when like something is AI still.
Yeah.
They have all these AI pictures and like they're still very uncanny valley because AI is not there. So like even when the picture is realistic, it's not.
And I missed all of that because when I wanted news on Helene, I just went to like Google News and typed in Hurricane Helene.
Yeah, I do that too.
I'd get super bored of nothing but liberty-oriented news feed.
Yeah, my news
Well,
feed
that's
is
not my whole news feed.
Oh
But,
yeah, you
like-
have the video game interest.
But
yeah.
I'm also like not on social media all the time.
Yeah, that's another thing. I think that's a huge way that when I'm using it wrong, that's what I'm doing first and foremost. Because when I just get on Twitter for the first time of the day, I get served all of the most like good things, like things that somebody I follow posted and has a lot of traction, and I can see all that, and it's not a big deal. When I'm just bored and I'm on Twitter for like over an hour, and I'm like, whoa, the rabbit holes I've gone down, the stupid comment fights I've read for no freaking reason that enrich me 0%. That's usually what it is. I've been on too long.
Take out video games.
I
Because
feel
then you put Twitter down and you go like, I'm gonna go play some video games.
Well, I do that.
Or watch a movie.
I feel like it's not so bad when I go on like Twitter or.
You gotta
even-
put the whole phone down though. Otherwise, there's a temptation to scroll
That is so
back to
true.
Twitter.
That's why I had to get a physical Kindle, because I could read Kindle on the app on my phone,
Yeah.
but I kept having the temptation to like, let me just check social media really fast. With the actual Kindle, it's fantastic.
I feel like I don't have a problem with like X or with YouTube. Like those are fine. When I go like into these platforms, I don't get like content that I'm like, this is the worst. But Facebook is the worst one because you get all the content that like your friends are interacting with too. When they comment on something, you get that. Or like if you're part of a community group for where you live, you get all of that stuff. And like it's all just terrible. And a lot of it's echo chambery too, which I don't like. I prefer when people are like arguing with each other.
See, again, not in a lot of those groups.
I hated Twitter or Facebook, and I quit in 2020. So.
Yeah, like I use it for memes. I mostly just have it because the messenger, so that I can message with people. But sometimes I go on there to post like, oh, I have kids' clothes that they grew out of. Like, does somebody want them? Or
I
like that.
told people I'm going to be quitting Facebook. So if you need my number, let me know for like a month or so, and then I got rid of it. But that was also the thing I always said. That was like, well, the thing is, that's the only way I interact with some people. Now, sure, I don't see my grandma posting about, something about Jesus.
I need to just get rid of my Facebook. It's true. I need to just get rid of it, and I need to just post my number on my Facebook because it's private to just people who are my friends.
It's a good ego check.
Just be done.
Like it's probably been 3 or 4 years at this point. I don't post anything on Facebook. I may comment here and there if something is really of interest to me.
I just post memes.
But like the last thing I posted was like, here's my Telegram feed. You can follow me there if you're really interested, but you're not getting anything else from me on Facebook. And nobody follows me on Telegram. It's like, I don't even care. I'm not even bothered by it.
Yeah.
Use it as a grocery shopping list now.
I don't remember if anybody like needed my number. I don't remember.
I'll still, the friends that I'm still with on Facebook, if they want to message me, I still have the Messenger app. But even that, few and far between, I don't care.
I have a bunch of people that I exclusively talk to with Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
Just last night, I went to a fire, and there's this person that's only like an acquaintance of mine, and somebody was like, oh, you should invite them. So I was like, okay, well, and they're like, did you message them? I was like, yeah, I messaged them on Instagram. And they were like, who does that? Who messages on Instagram? Is this guy even really a libertarian? I was like, listen, he might have Signal. I just don't have him on Signal. I have him on Instagram. So I don't know. I just found that crazy that was such an argument.
I've tried to get these people to like download Telegram or Signal or whatever, and they just won't do it.
Well, and there are those within the community that goes like, well, then you just don't reach me.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm shutting down Facebook.
I feel like that's what's going to end up happening.
This is how you reach me, but I'm also accommodating, right? Like it doesn't take that much more space to have an extra app on my phone, right? It doesn't beep at me, just the badge pops up when they're there, and I'll
I just
go
get the
check it like I
temptation
check
to
any other message.
scroll. Like I get the temptation to go like, oh, I'll just log in and see what's going on, and then it's just like ugh.
That's what I do on Twitter.
Yuck.
And
That's
I have
the only thing I
to
do
really
on.
be bored. Like there can't be anything good on TV. I have to be caught up on all my shows. I have to be like, man, I'm tired of playing video games, which is rare. Like now's the time to go scroll through. Like no, barely. Maybe at work, right? Because my job is boring and it's not a lot to do. So maybe when I'm at work, I probably scroll a little more because I can't play video games, openly at work.
Yeah.
So I used to go on a lot more. It doesn't happen as much now because I don't really use it that much. But like I taught myself the genetic sequences of rabbit color genetics and fur genetics and stuff. And so I was part of all these groups, and people would like come to me and ask me how to get the specific outcome they were looking for. And so I was constantly on there helping other people. I feel like it was harder to quit back then when people were always asking me for help. But since then I've been like, I don't want to help any of you anymore.
Is it like a perfect science? Like
Yeah.
exactly what to do? Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Yeah. You can just make whatever you want if
I
you
want
know
a
how to
rainbow
do
Lucky
it.
Rabbit's foot.
They don't.
Okay, I
well,
want a rainbow Lucky Rabbit.
They don't come in rainbow. But I can make you one that's like a bunch of
Figure it
different
out
colors.
then, Miss Geneticist.
They don't come in purple and green. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was going to be my next one. Perfect.
Yeah. That can get kind of close-ish.
Let's make it black and yellow.
Blue.
I'm just surprised that there's
but it's
no
not like vibrant blue. It's like a gray blue.
I would just think like, oh, well, you do this, and that's your best chance of getting X, but you could just accidentally get Y because universe.
No. So like it takes, you have to have the right genetic pairings that have their, 2 alleles on every
Now you
set
got
of
it started.
genes. Yeah. So you have to know all of that about the rabbits that you're putting together to get the outcome that you want. But yeah, you can get exactly what you want.
Wow,
Can't have
so
any
cool.
mutt rabbits.
Is that the same exact thing with humans, or
No, humans are much more complicated.
is it just because we have more genes?
We have more genes, and our genes are not like simple recessive dominance. Rabbits have a lot of color genes that are simple recessive dominance, where it's just like they have just 2 things that can happen. So as long as you pair them correctly with the dominant or recessive gene, you get what you want.
Nice.
So
Which ones taste the best?
all of them.
Okay.
They all taste delicious.
All
I've never had rabbit. I would try it, but
It's
I've never tried
fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Yeah.
What I
have
want
lots
next is
of them.
duck. I've just never eaten duck,
Duck is also fantastic.
and everybody says that, so I'm like,
Go to a Chinese restaurant, order the duck.
there's some like American food restaurant in Massachusetts I have my eye on.
I have lots of rabbits.
What kind
Called
of
the
duck
Old
do they
Mill.
serve? Okay.
Maybe I'll bring you next time I make rabbit. I'll bring you some rabbit when I come.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'll bring you some rabbit.
Okay.
Too. I'll do it on a Saturday. And I'll bring everybody some dinner.
Make
You
them
know
like
what,
rabbit sliders. Don't
yeah.
do it on Saturday. I'm not here. I'm going to have
Sunday.
leftovers. All right.
The worst
So I thought today was Saturday for some reason.
meat that's not like very common that I've ever tried, like the uncommon to an American meat that I've tried that was just gross, was dove.
I tried shark. It was disgusting.
Well, I've never tried that.
It
Oh,
was
also
gross.
cow
Tasted
tongue
like
hated it.
pennies.
There's a wild
Oh.
meat butcher somewhere in New Hampshire that I really want to go to and try.
A what?
A wild meat butcher.
Oh, okay.
I've had pigeon. It's the same as dove. It was delicious.
And it's possible that the guy did it in a bad way. It was like in a stew, and I was like, ew. Also, I
Maybe.
wasn't like a big meat person, and obviously, like, because I wasn't until like 2 years ago.
I really want to go check out that butcher.
So we do have a call on the line. We have Dave Ridley in New Hampshire. Hi, Dave.
Hey, folks. I have an update on Lily Tang Williams, the Free Stater who's running for Congress.
Okay.
So I've called in a couple times and given her free publicity, and this is free publicity too, but I'm going to call it bad publicity. So you guys may have already noticed this, but so the Concord Monitor, I was reading an article about her, and they mentioned that she was going to try and ban transgender athletes from women's sports.
Okay.
That's already happened, and
didn't-
then it got vetoed.
Well, it's a little more complicated. She's trying to do something at the federal level, it looks like. So when I saw the Monitor article say that, I thought, well, I should verify that and see what other articles say. And so an internet search on Instagram.com/Lily Tang Williams, she apparently posted an original quote. Now, I can just tell you that this is on Instagram.com/Lily Tang Williams. Maybe someone's faking to be her. I don't know. I don't think so. But it says, quote, "In Congress, I will defend women's sports, women's right to succeed in fair competition, and protect their safety," unquote.
It says no place in federal law.
Well, but
Right,
they take
and there's
federal
no place-
funding.
Well, they are taking federal funding. But also that shouldn't happen.
Right. Yeah. So strike at the root.
There's no authorization in the U.S. Constitution for her to get involved if she's a congressperson. As a congressperson, she can't be doing anything with local schools.
That's the case with like 99.9% of the things that Congress people run on, and yet it's just like nobody complains about it until it's like a pet issue of theirs.
Except
it's
Free
like I
Talk
feel like
Live.
you don't want that outcome, Dave, is what I feel like. So that's the only reason you're like complaining about it. Do any Congress people have the authorization to do 99%? I can't think of any example, but any of the things they're running on, like protect Roe versus Wade, like they say stuff like that. How would they possibly have that authorization?
Or from last week, interracial marriage.
Yeah, interracial marriage.
Right.
I just feel like it's like
I don't think that women or transgender women should be in women's sports, but I also don't think that the federal government has any place in the conversation.
It should be up to the league.
I
But
completely
unfortunately,
agree.
the current league in public schools takes federal money
And
or
the other
state
thing-
money or tax money.
the other thing about it is I totally think Title IX should just like not exist, and that public education should not exist. The whole what do they call it? The Board of Education, the
Department of Education.
Department of Education. That should just be abolished, and then it wouldn't
How
have
dare
to be.
you? You don't want kids to be educated.
Yeah, I don't, but not by them. It shouldn't be a thing at all. So I just feel like every time they bring up some subject of what they are running on, yeah, the real libertarian answer is, well, that department should be abolished.
Yep.
And it's just like...
And that's how you should answer it.
This one isn't more egregious than the next, in my opinion.
I agree. Men shouldn't be in sports with women. Let's abolish the Department of Education.
That's great.
Like, that's the solution.
Say it that way,
Let's just strike at the root of this.
When people are arguing about it, it's a great way to put it.
Then they get really confused and baffled.
Because the
Look
thing is, like,
NPCs.
I won't even say men shouldn't play with women in sports. Like, if there was a free market, totally voluntary sports league that is out in the open saying, hey, we are pro allowing trans women on the team with us, and there's girls saying, hey, I don't mind that. In fact, I support it. My friend's trans, and we're going to play. Then they should be allowed to do that. Just as much as people should be allowed to join a team that says, listen, we specifically will not allow anybody who was born male on the team, only biological females. I support that too. It's just like, I shouldn't be paying for anybody to play stupid sports ball.
If girls wanted to play sports, they played on the boys' team. That's the way it should be.
There was a girl in my school who played on the football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a women's football team.
Right.
And I don't see what's so bad about that. Like, they were taking the
She's probably
risk
the kicker.
themselves. Yeah.
I don't remember what she was.
You know, not the quarterback, not getting piled on top of.
They were usually the kicker because they came from the girls' soccer team and they could kick better than boys.
And but the thing is, like, I don't know. Title IX just created a separate one just for girls, right?
It made them have to deviate the funding in relation to the men's sports, so that they had to have a women's team to be funded.
The other thing about it is, I don't think a boy, if he was like, listen, I'm not going to play if there's a girl on the team. Well, the thing is, it's all public school. It's all.
I don't think it would happen that way, though, because
it doesn't happen that way.
Women are not going to severely injure a man.
Yeah.
But the other way around, it is a likely outcome.
There have been some male wrestlers who refuse to wrestle their female opponent
because they don't want to hurt the woman.
That's kind of where I was thinking.
Right.
You grab people in weird places when you're wrestling, man.
Right.
Okay.
Get HR'd.
Yeah, but I mean, this is at like the collegiate and high school level.
Yeah, but I didn't mean like literal HR, but whatever HR department equivalent is for wrestling.
It's hard for a dude to high crotch a chick on the wrestling mat and not get funny business for it.
Right.
Yeah, it almost sounded like something I said when I said HR'd. And I was like, wait, I don't think I said that.
So, what else are your thoughts on this, Dave?
So, in fairness to Lily, looking closer at the quote, she says, quote, in Congress, I will defend women's sports. So, in theory, I guess she could defend women's sports just by using the bully pulpit, right? Now, I think that's probably constitutional for her to stand in front of the Congress and give her opinion, right? Like, she can do that.
Yeah.
But if she starts passing laws and stuff like that, again, I am so tired of alleged free staters. And she's, according to the Concord Monitor, she's a full-blown free stater, which was what I thought she was. And I'm so tired of free staters trying to ban our way to freedom.
Yep. Well, that's what happens when you get into politics.
And in terms of just the whole concept of stopping transgender athletes, look, no aggression, no grievance, right? If a transgender athlete hasn't committed some act of aggression, you have no grievance against
you just wait for it to happen? You just wait for the girl to get paralyzed? That's what has happened.
Well, that would be an act of aggression, I guess. And of course, that starts to get into a gray area or become an act of aggression.
I mean, it's just in the course of playing sports, men are much, much stronger than women.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, just leave it. Then don't play in a league that has that. I mean, just again, it should be up to each league.
I agree. Yes, but
sure, but at the high school and collegiate level, they get taxpayer money to fund the league. And there's not a lot of outside leagues that you can join and, get noticed by scouts in your particular sport to help you pay for college later.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's no path to that unless you go through the current system.
It's really just unfair for those people that care about playing sports. Like, I can't hardly relate, not at all. Like, I don't want to play a sport, don't want to see a sport, but it's just unfair for people that do. I have a little sister that was her whole entire life. I made one joke about her losing a team once, and that's the biggest fight we've ever, a game. That's the biggest fight we've ever gotten because it was so serious to her.
603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The UN Secretary General is condemning the growing number of civilian casualties in northern Gaza as Israeli military operations resume there. Antonio Guterres is warning that civilians must be protected at all times amid reports that people queuing for food were targeted by an Israeli military assault at the Jabalia refugee camp. Israel says it is investigating those reports. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says indirect messages between Tehran and Washington have stopped due to the worsening regional situation. From FSN's bureau in Baghdad, Stuart Smith reports.
Foreign Minister Araghchi noted that Oman had previously been a useful indirect channel of communication between Iran and the United States, which is Israel's strongest military ally, but that, Araghchi said, had stopped due to the escalation of fighting in the Middle East over the past few weeks. Communication will not resume, he said, until the crisis is over. The region is on edge, awaiting Israel's response to Iran's rocket attack earlier in the month. Tel Aviv has promised it'll be lethal, precise and surprising, a plan which has reportedly been decided upon but awaits political approval.
In the US presidential election, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the race completely deadlocked nationally. The vice president has again urged her rival to release his medical records after she made hers public over the weekend. She's also launched a new initiative to win the votes of African American men after former President Barack Obama said last week that he is concerned by reports that some of them oppose the idea of a black woman in power. Kamala Harris spoke today to prominent black journalist Roland Martin.
Having the lowest black unemployment in recent history. The work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level. Your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score.
Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law governing foreign agents. Laurent Vinatier was arrested in June. He worked for a Swiss NGO focused on conflict resolution and denied all the charges against him, saying he was unaware his registration as a foreign agent was required. The Europa Clipper, NASA's latest spacecraft, has begun its 1.8 million-mile journey to reach Europa, a moon orbiting Jupiter. It aims to hunt for signs of life, but won't reach its destination, if all goes well, until 2030. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in at 603-283-6160. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny Liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. In the studio is Lori.
Bonnie.
And Richie Rich.
And Richie has a story about vacuums.
Yes.
And how much they suck.
I wish Turd would call. Oh, whoa! I'm psychic. Whoa, that was crazy.
Bonnie just summoned Turd.
You want to go to Turd first?
To the phone.
That's
Turd
never happened
first
to me.
kitten?
Turd first.
I saw
First
that he was
kitten.
calling before and that he had hung up, gave up on hold.
He did. It was like a minute and a half, and he was like, "I'm out of here."
You saw the same thing too, right, Lori? Because like when I started saying I wish Turd would call back in, it wasn't even ringing. At least from my vision.
Yeah.
Why do you want him to call so bad?
Yeah,
Bonnie?
she wished for him.
I like his calls.
Talk about Ariana Grande and Katy Perry now.
I don't know. What do you think about Ariana Grande, Turd? I've never heard your opinion on her. I don't think.
She's pretty sexy. I really like that song, God is a Woman. You know that song?
That's a good song.
God is Alanis Morissette.
What?
I think that's
maybe,
God
but
is
it's
one of
also
us.
Ariana Grande.
No.
If God
or
was
Ariana
one of us.
Grande.
It's from
Oh,
Dogma.
that's Tori
I'm not-
Amos.
It's from Dogma.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Watch
Tori
the movie,
Amos
Bonnie.
Did a good Tori Amos did a good cover of a Nirvana song that I really like. Nirvana is like one of my favorite bands of all time. Yeah, I mean it's not as good as the Nirvana version, but it's interesting that she chose to do that. And yeah, the reason why, I mean, I'm kind of like, I just feel really out of place right now. I mean, I'm 2 days into this water fast and I've just been walking around, not knowing what to do to myself because I'm starving.
Have you been taking electrolytes?
I've been trying to remember to do that, although I feel like my brain's just going in a million different directions at a time that it's like hard to even remember. Yeah, but I tried to remember to take the sea salt, but it's just hard. And then I called earlier and I was like,
The thing with just taking salt, sorry. I was doing the same thing. I was like just adding salt to my water and I was like, yes, this is awesome. I'm doing a good thing for myself. Well, I learned that like when you do that, since it's not in the right proportions with other minerals, you can actually like throw off your other minerals. And that's why it's best to just drink mineral waters, but mix up the brand daily.
Yeah, or just like,
Spring water.
Take some Pedialyte or something. Like you need potassium, you need electrolytes and potassium in your body. Potassium is required for
What's
your
the point
heart,
of the water fast?
for your heart to beat.
Wait, what?
What's the point of the water fast? Just
yeah, what is that? Are you getting fat?
No, but I did want to just give my digestive tract a complete reset, and also I've got a little bit of fat that I wanted to burn off around my abs, and already 2 days in, it's working. I mean, my abs look super chiseled right now. But
I've never tried it, Turd, but milk is a complete food. It has sugar, protein, fat, and if you just drink milk, it's actually one of the best things to do for your gut, unless you're lactose intolerant.
Especially breast milk.
Yeah, I love milk, but I found out recently that I do have 2 G genes, meaning I'm lactose intolerant.
Dang.
So I've been trying to get away from dairy. Although,
Have you tried the A1 milk?
the A1 milk, I'm not sure. I've tried some almond milks over the last month or so, and I do like them. Although, yeah, it's not the same.
Guar is bad for your gut.
A1 is actually dairy milk, but the cows have specific genes that makes it so they don't have the protein.
Lactose? Oh.
They don't have the protein that usually bothers people that are lactose intolerant.
I'm man enough to drink whole milk.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same.
Maybe I will try that though.
I don't know how they make it, but like my favorite cream cheese says it's lactose free, and I only buy it because it doesn't have like guar gum and all this other crap added to it. How do they do that? How do they make it lactose free?
Well, a lot of cheeses are already minimally lactose just because of the way it's processed. Just a lot of the lactose is just taken out of it. So that's why I haven't fully given up on pizza, which would be almost impossible for me anyway. I just love pizza so much.
I'm sorry. It's A2 milk.
Oh.
There's A1 and A2. A1 is the one that usually bothers people, and A2 is the one that people who are lactose intolerant can often drink. Like, milk makes my stomach hurt sometimes, and so that A2 milk, I've tried it, and it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out because I do miss milk. But
You should try the carrot salad. If you just Google the Ray Peat carrot salad. Okay, we can continue.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, the reason why I'm calling actually is because, and I don't know if it's just this extreme sort of mental reset that I'm experiencing through fasting, but you know, this chick at the gym is just driving me crazy. And you know, normally I don't even think about like specific chicas like that. unless it's like Katy Perry or someone
He's
like
hangry.
that.
Dude, eat a Snickers.
Huh?
I said you're hangry.
Yeah,
Dude, eat a
No,
Snickers.
I think he means driving
No,
him
I
crazy in a like he can't get her out of his mind kind of way, not anger, right?
Yeah, it's not angry, and it is a thing where I'm just thinking about this girl for some reason, and she
ever talked
Because you're malnourished and your brain is misfiring.
Well,
Eat a Snickers.
we've made lots of eye contact, and we've worked out near each other, and actually, specifically, I remember like a couple weeks ago, like for some reason I wore my glasses to the gym, which I don't do often. And we were
She's like, ooh, hot librarian.
What? Glasses are hot.
Well-
Immediate turn
No, I love glasses.
I've even liked
Well,
when
we
Nina's
were-
put on glasses.
I love
just
men
to
in
try 'em
glasses,
on.
especially like if they constantly wear glasses and then they take them off because then it's like you have a secret man
Yeah,
too. 'Cause you're
that's
like,
true.
"Ooh, it's a whole new guy."
That's interesting that you say that, because we were in the parking lot. She was walking to her car, and I was getting out of my car, walking into the gym, and we had this extended period of eye contact, which
She's
was
probably
interesting.
thinking, why is this dude staring at me? I better not take my eyes
She's
off.
like wondering exactly where in her pocket is her pepper spray.
No way, shoot your shot, turd.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, here's the thing. And I'm getting to this. And by the way, this chick looks like this girl that I watch on YouTube occasionally, and I posted some pictures in the chat of this girl, and she's like super sexy. I mean, like definitely like one of the sexiest girls I've ever seen.
I'm just shocked that you haven't even talked to her yet, and like you can't get her out of your head. What if you talk to her and she opens up her mouth and have like a ghetto accent you can't stand or something like that, like from Interstate 66?
Well, she speaks like she's from
Please
Boston.
don't. That would be horrible. But I'm getting to that though. The reason why I haven't talked to
Maybe
her
just shush
is
her.
because I don't know. Look, I don't know if this dude that she does work out with occasionally is her boyfriend, and I'm wondering if maybe anyone else, maybe you guys or anyone else that could call in has experienced this. But there's on occasion you'll get this either like this couple or this guy that's been friend zoned by a girl that when you see them together. It's just so off-putting that it's like, okay, this guy's either been totally friend-zoned by this girl or they're just the worst couple ever. You know what I mean?
Call them orbiters.
Maybe he's gay. Maybe he's her roommate.
Exactly.
Like, who knows? Maybe it's her brother. You don't know. You don't know unless you ask.
Well, that's the thing. That's why. I mean, that's it's so off-putting for me. That I mean, if they are a couple, obviously I don't want to mess with them or come between them or anything.
Well, if you can tell that she doesn't even like him that much, you can come between them. That's the thing. It's like if they just see a ring on her finger, maybe not. But if you're even if you know for a fact that they're dating, but she doesn't respect him that much, if you move in and she decides she likes you more, that's not some kind of sin against nature. They're not married. There's no contract.
I helped my coworker break up a marriage or a wedding.
Whoa.
And I agree with that.
They're
But here's the
engaged.
other problem is I agree with that. But here's the other problem: the dude that works out with her also works at the gym, and I see him behind the counter on occasion. And I'm
So you
like,
want to get
Jesus.
kicked out?
Maybe he's
Yeah, because I like that gym. I mean,
You're not going to get
it's
kicked
awesome.
out unless it's his gym, unless he owns the gym.
Well, he does not own the gym. I can guarantee you that. But
I'm with Bonnie on this one.
I feel it's just a weird thing because I do really like that gym. It's super exclusive. They have a sauna there, and it's like they don't even call it a gym. They call it an athletic club. You know what I mean?
Fancy.
So it's like already slightly higher level. But I'm still not used to this. And then I'm overthinking this, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Well, what if I do approach her and we do start going out and we start going out before I've accomplished all these amazing goals that I have in my life, and God forbid I have a kid with her before I've accomplished those goals? Then that introduces several other layers.
Oh no, life gets in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
So much
That's what I'm
randomness.
saying. Yeah, I know. I don't want that extra stuff in my life.
Well,
because
now you
my
don't.
goal-
How do you
Wear
know that?
protection.
What if she's like the one?
Yeah.
That would be well.
And then
think
you
of the
don't do it.
distractions.
I'm man enough to wear protection.
You know, I'm in the midst of starting a record label, and God forbid. God forbid I have a
this
kid.
is the thing. If you met somebody that was like the love of your life, and you end up having a baby and stuff, for all you know, you would value that more than valuing starting a record label. But right now, you don't know what you don't know.
But he's making up all these stories to not shoot a shot with the chick.
Yeah, he hasn't even talked to her.
Why would having a kid ruin the record label?
That's true.
Well,
people have jobs and careers all the time.
Because you got to divert
kids.
funds to kids, man. They're expensive.
They are expensive.
They are very expensive, and I've invested already a lot of my life's capital into this. I mean, the equipment alone represents probably maybe $250,000 of the money that I've made in my life.
Well, that's the other thing.
I'm just going to call you out. Go ahead, Bonnie.
It's been years, so like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to be a record label instead of just being a person in the process of making a studio?
When the studio is completely finished, then I can actually bring sexy girls and sexy young women.
If you have $500,000 into it, how is it not finished?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, that's actually on the low end. I mean, studios typically.
Ian's ex recorded music in here. That's not $500,000.
What if she's infertile and you're worrying about this for no reason?
That's what I'm saying. I'm calling him out. He's just making excuses to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting up his own barriers. You're putting up your own barriers.
You might be onto something.
I guarantee.
I've overthought this so much that I'm just like, well, maybe I am sort of just making.
There's nothing in your way. Like, okay, this is the weird thing, right? Because I don't approach chicks at the gym. I'm rarely at the gym, but even when I was, not a thing that I did. Because it felt weird to do because they're there to work out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you guys are like making eye contact and got a connection or whatever,
right,
just do it.
Do it.
And if she has a boyfriend, she'll tell you, sorry, dude, I have a boyfriend. You go, oh, man, I asked out a lesbian because I didn't know she was gay. Right. I was like, man, I do not have that gaydar. Right? Like,
but nothing bad happens.
Nothing bad happens.
Right.
Right? They just go like,
fell on his head.
What's that?
A piano fell on his head right when he exited the room. Because he asked a lesbian on a date.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oops.
Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're making all good points.
And if you need a inspiring movie that will put you in the right kind of mood, you just remind me of this movie, Interstate 60. I said 66 earlier, but it's all about him going after his dream girl the whole time and all the blocks that get in the way. And it's from 2002, so it's very turd.
Oh, yeah, that would be very me if it's from 2002. All right.
And if she says, sorry, dude, I'm married, then you follow up with happily?
Yeah.
Because you never know.
She's not married. I can guarantee you that. Yeah, she's...
Even if she says she has a boyfriend, say...
Are you happy? You got to follow up. You got to overcome these objections. Overcome objections. Sales tactic.
Yeah, well, I don't... And here's another thing I forgot to say. It is this weird dynamic because... Dude, every time this girl works out near me and that guy is in the gym at the same time as her, he'll walk over and start talking to her right in front of me. It's like, dude, are you that insecure? That's so
right.
That's the other thing that's so off-putting about it. You know what I mean? It's like
that sounds like he's friend zoned.
Also, when he does that, lower your voice. Man with the deeper voice wins.
He's either friend zoned. He's either friend zoned or he's so insecure about the relationship, and that's.
Dude, well, if she tells you...
Same thing. If you're insecure about your relationship, you're friend-zoned.
Either way, you be the bigger man, right? Mm-hmm. Lower your voice, approach her anyway, and make him realize that if he is friend-zoned or an orbiter, right, that you were the alpha replacing him, and then he can go suck it later.
And Turd, if she says, listen, if she says, I have a boyfriend and it's that guy, I'd be like, yeah, I noticed him, and just insult him in some way, be like, I noticed him, but I couldn't tell if that was just some kind of little simp you had, or...
I thought it was like your little brother.
Yeah, no, don't say simp. That's
you guys look related.
Internet. Oh my God, she'll never get that off her head. If you say you guys look related, she'll be like, does everyone think that? Ew, oh my God.
That'll ruin the relationship right there.
Yes.
I thought this chick was really cute until I found out she was my best friend's sister. I'm like, oh man, now I see her. Now I see him.
That was really interesting that Bonnie just said, because I've thought about things like that before, but is that a thing that women think about? Because obviously you can't insult other men in front of girls because that's
it's a pickup artist thing. It's negging.
Yeah, if you think like if you insult them in a low key way where it's like, yeah, I couldn't tell if you guys were going out or if you guys were related or what, is that like a different sort of level?
The easiest one is just get his name wrong.
You're not insulting her.
Hey, my
I
name's
wouldn't say
Paul.
to insult
Yeah, whatever,
her.
Phil. No, I said Paul. Okay, whatever.
I wouldn't say to insult
Okay, well-
her. No, I think the idea of negging, if I understand it correctly, is that you insult a girl so that way she feels like she has to prove herself to you.
So
Yeah,
if you're
it's a similar tactic.
if you're going
I
to
don't like
like
it.
you
That would
know
bother me.
insult the guy to try to plant a seed, you have to do it smartly so that it doesn't sound like an insult.
Well, that's why the
But that's
name
what I'm
thing works.
saying.
Like, yeah, whatever. Phil.
Right. Or
I
like
also think the brother thing
or like,
is-
oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was your brother.
Yes, genius.
Mhm.
Yeah, or I thought it was your best guy friend. Or I
No,
don't
because
know.
that one's like whatever. Because when you're in a
No, I
relationship with
see.
somebody, they're kind of your best friend.
There's pickup
So it's
artist.
gotta
I don't
be,
remember them all,
okay.
but there's pickup artist techniques for how to befriend the orbiter so that he's no longer a threat and doesn't trash talk you to her.
I don't
because
think
they're going to hang out.
Turd should look up specifically pickup artist
Do
kind of
No,
stuff.
don't do it.
Do
Don't
it.
do it.
That'll just
Do
make
it.
Turd insufferable.
Well,
Is it possible?
More?
More.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would have time anyway to start watching pickup artist videos, but
There's
But,
a handful of techniques that are tried and true and work. Right? You don't have to do what they do. You don't have to say what they say, but it's a strategy. Right?
What are they?
I just gave you some.
Like lower your voice.
Lower your, like that's a big one.
That one is big.
Right.
But like if you meet this guy and he's got a low voice and then the next time you go out he's got like a not low voice, you're going to be like, what happened? So now you have to
Well, I
change your
already
voice
have-
forever.
No, you just
I
lower.
mean, I already have a relatively low pitched voice.
Yeah.
I think I have a pretty masculine voice anyway.
But when you do
Yeah.
sales,
Maybe
I
I'm
do it
wrong.
when I'm on the phone for sales, right? If the guy picks up the phone, you got to be lower than him. Otherwise, he's in control of the conversation.
Yeah, for women it's the other way around. I've done sales, you go up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
true.
You
have
sound friendly and
yeah,
like
because you have to subjugate yourself to the guy on the other end of the phone.
And then
and
If you
I'm
want
so
those
like
sales.
friendly and you
Right.
want to buy something from me now. Right.
I haven't specifically done sales, but
If you
just
got
like
the
any
urinal,
customer
stronger
service.
stream wins. Like that's also a thing.
Ew, my little brother, who was like 11, he was saying, Bonnie, in my school, there was this other kid in my class that everyone hated to go to the bathroom at the same time as him because he'd go to the urinal and just pants himself.
That's weird.
Do guys do that?
No, only in preschool.
No, that's
Yeah,
totally
maybe it was
weird.
like because he was just so young. Maybe he'll grow out of it. It's horrible.
Yeah,
Sorry,
there
I
used
just
to be.
thought
But if you
I
have a shy
remember- I
bladder,
remember a long
If
time
you have a shy
ago when I
bladder,
was
you are
in
not the
first
alpha in
grade.
the room.
I remember a long time ago when I was in the first grade, there was this other kid that would like pull his pants down into his whitey tighties at the urinal. And even back then it was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, so weird.
Well, because again, it starts early. When you're a toddler or a baby, you just pull them all the way down, and they just don't grow out of it.
Oh, and they hadn't gotten like,
They don't
you
have
know,
a male role model showing them how to pee in the bathroom.
or been like socially ostracized. Like, hey man, why are you pantsing yourself at the urinal? So probably just has to happen at like third grade.
And kids
or
are just
whatever.
weird too.
Well, the straightest thing to do is just not to use the urinal. Just go into the stall, and then that guarantees that nobody looks at you. That's the straightest thing that you can do.
Yeah, but again, you're not the alpha in the room. If you're using the stall instead of the urinal, not the alpha man.
Listen, I'm not a boy, but
if you-
even I would think that it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm scared for you to see me.
Yep.
Well, if you're the first one in the room, it's fine. But
So how do you how do you enforce your alphaness? Just like reach over and put your arm around the other dude and be like, what's up?
No, again,
Make eye contact.
you have to
I wouldn't
train
do that.
yourself to not have a shy
I would
bladder.
not-
So you got to pull it
I'm
out,
just-
start right away, and have a strong stream.
It's so weird
That's
that
it.
even I have like a quote unquote, I have like stage fright when I have to pee in front of, like on the phone with somebody or in front of like Ian. I'm like, can you just get out really fast so I can focus? I don't
I've
know
had
why.
kids, so like I'm not ashamed of anything.
I don't think
like,
I
whatever.
don't know if it's shame. It's hard to even. I
It's
just have
gotta
to
be.
not be thinking of anything. I'm like, I have to
Got to
empty
do
my
number 2 in
mind.
a holding cell with other dudes. You kind of get over it after that.
You get over
it's
it.
going to happen.
Right, you get over things
Well,
real quick when a
quick.
bunch of strangers are staring at you in
Yep.
your most vulnerable moments.
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't feel the need to just prove myself in front of a bunch of guys that I don't know anyway, like at the movie,
Practice.
at the
But you must.
urinal at the movie
Practice. It's
theater. I
practice.
guess you're right.
It's practice.
I
You
will
do it
say-
all the time so that it's second nature and muscle memory, so that when you have to do it in front of the chick you're hot on, right?
Well, the
it's
chick is
already
different.
there.
I've never felt uncomfortable peeing in front of an ex-girlfriend.
It's
or
not the
vice
girl;
versa.
it's the dudes in the
either.
urinal.
Yeah.
If you want to come across as alpha, you have to do alpha things.
I can easily do it if Ian's taking a shower and I have to pee. But for some reason, it's like if he's like staring at me, trying to talk to me, and I have to pee, I'm like, okay, can you go?
All right, Jared. Well, shoot your shot.
All right.
That's our advice.
For Kamala.
Thanks for the call.
Shoot your shot for Kamala. Be a man.
So
Shoot your shot for Kamala.
Yeah.
I
Be a man.
endorse
That's
this
what men do. So we
Be
have
full-throated.
full-throated for Kamala.
Full throat the chick at the gym for Kamala.
So we
Whatever that
have Sarah in New Mexico. Hi, Sarah.
Oh, I found that state of Pennsylvania, they still count their absentee ballot after the election is over. And I was thinking that we used to do that like 15 years ago in our state. And I thought we're like the most, like 20 years behind state more than anything.
Sarah, I saw a story today, and it made me think of you. So,
Way to redirect.
So this was in Arizona. The Arizona Republicans have been fighting for voter ID laws so that they would have to show ID to vote.
Right.
And they just found out that 37% of the voters that make up that whole realm of people,
constituents,
are Republicans, and Democrats are only 27. So you might be actually helping more Republicans by doing your outreach.
She's in New Mexico.
What outreach?
When you're out standing outside telling people that they can just go and vote with no ID.
Oh, Republicans are more likely to support that than...
No, Republicans are more likely to be the people who don't have ID and are ineligible without it.
In Arizona.
In Arizona. It's the next state over. It's the same place.
Arizona.
Totally different place.
It's the same place. It's all the desert. They're all the same guys.
I'd say they have to be comparable.
Yeah. It's like New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
There are more Republicans.
Terrible example.
The normie people are like the same thing. When I talk about this whole region, I just say New England. I don't even say which part.
We're so much better than Massachusetts in
so
many ways.
I never think of Rhode Island
But
because
think
they don't
how
exist.
similar we are to Vermont.
Right. It's like...
Well, Pennsylvania
is a bunch of tree-hugging nut eaters.
Right now.
Nut eaters. Full-throated nut eaters.
Pennsylvania.
So stupid.
Pennsylvania what?
It's supposed to be the battleground state. And aren't they supposed to be more advanced, more intelligent than New Mexico? And then they still count their
aren't we all?
absentee after. No, but you know what? We stop counting. We count our absentee as soon as it comes in, and they still have to wait until 7:00 election day, and then they start opening up the ballots and start counting. And the last time, half the people voted absentee. And it took them 4 days to count those
I really
ballots.
don't know which one of those I would choose as more advanced in civilization. It's like, when you told me that you already had results for early voting already, I was like surprised by that. It seems like almost like it could be affecting how other people vote, for all I know.
I don't know if you know this, Sarah, but your vote doesn't count.
She thinks it does.
That's not how it works.
Well, I think it counts because, you know what? I'm voting for the person that's going to go to Santa Fe in the roundhouse. It's going to make my state law. And we're going to send people that's going to make national laws, Heinrich and Vasquez, that we're going to send, and they're going to vote in Washington.
Yeah. But at the presidential level, we have the Electoral College, which is why there's battleground states, because they're trying to get Electoral College votes from those states. This is one of the things, like growing up in Hawaii, was very easy to become disillusioned with the whole political system, which helped me. Because by the time Hawaii votes, the election's over. Like, the time zone is so far behind, and you only get 3 Electoral College votes or whatever it is, that doesn't matter. Your Electoral College votes don't count. Your popular vote doesn't count. So I never bothered to vote, and
because it doesn't count.
Because it doesn't count.
Right.
And then you learn about the Electoral College, you go, it still doesn't count.
It still doesn't count. 603-283-6160. This is Free Talk Live.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech.
It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Free Talk Live continues with Hour 3 up next after the news here at listen.freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The UN Secretary-General is condemning the growing number of civilian casualties in northern Gaza as Israeli military operations resume there. Antonio Guterres is warning that civilians must be protected at all times amid reports that people queuing for food were targeted by an Israeli military assault at the Jabalia refugee camp. Israel says it is investigating those reports. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says indirect messages between Tehran and Washington have stopped due to the worsening regional situation. From FSN's bureau in Baghdad, Stuart Smith reports.
Foreign Minister Araghchi noted that Oman had previously been a useful indirect channel of communication between Iran and the United States, which is Israel's strongest military ally, but that, Araghchi said, had stopped due to the escalation of fighting in the Middle East over the past few weeks. Communication will not resume, he said, until the crisis is over. The region is on edge, awaiting Israel's response to Iran's rocket attack earlier in the month. Tel Aviv has promised it'll be lethal, precise and surprising, a plan which has reportedly been decided upon but awaits political approval.
In the US presidential election, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the race completely deadlocked nationally. The vice president has again urged her rival to release his medical records after she made hers public over the weekend. She's also launched a new initiative to win the votes of African American men after former President Barack Obama said last week that he is concerned by reports that some of them oppose the idea of a black woman in power. Kamala Harris spoke today to prominent black journalist Roland Martin.
Having the lowest black unemployment in recent history. The work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level. Your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score.
Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law governing foreign agents. Laurent Vinatier was arrested in June. He worked for a Swiss NGO focused on conflict resolution and denied all the charges against him, saying he was unaware his registration as a foreign agent was required. The Europa Clipper, NASA's latest spacecraft, has begun its $1.8 million-mile journey to reach Europa, a moon orbiting Jupiter. It aims to hunt for signs of life, but won't reach its destination, if all goes well, until 2030. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, what should Western governments be doing about the crisis in the Middle East, given that they appear unwilling to use the leverage they do have over the Israelis? President Biden again last week indicated disquiet over the actions of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but again stopped short of threatening to take any reprisals against Israel, like suspending weapons shipments. So what to do? Lord Peter Ricketts is a former senior British diplomat. He chaired the UK's Joint Intelligence Committee under Prime Minister Tony Blair.
Clearly, there is no useful diplomatic leverage on Netanyahu. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is getting worse and worse as Israel is beginning to shepherd hundreds of thousands of people south from the north of Gaza, which they're going back to attacking. So I think humanitarian support, and I think continuing to look at what happens when finally a ceasefire comes, both in Gaza and southern Lebanon. Because wars do always end sometime, and there needs to be a plan. I don't see any sign of an Israeli strategy, but I think that the British government, with the French, the Americans, and others, ought to be working now to make sure there's a viable plan for the day that comes, perhaps after Netanyahu's left office, where we can get back to some kind of political settlement.
And he says that Netanyahu's policy of security at any cost is not working. We'll hear more about that tomorrow. The main news again. Israel says it is investigating reports that civilians were killed as they queued for food at a refugee camp in northern Gaza. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are both campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the US presidential race completely deadlocked. And Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law requiring foreign agents to register. And that is the latest feature story news. Simon Marks reporting.
This is the Onion Week in Review. Sources are confirming your dog died earlier today, and we're all really sorry you had to find out about it like this, buddy. Though it's a lousy thing to have to learn from an online web video, and even shittier to hear from a cold, hardened newsman's voice that you can't put a face to, your pet passed away in his sleep while you went out today, and we understand how shocked you must be right now. Sources added that there are many local shelters with animals in need of a good home, though we understand that no dog can ever truly replace the one you just lost. I lost a dog once, but my mom was the one who told me about it, and she was quite the comfort. In this week's op-ed pages, Pantene CEO Marcus Russo laments feeling like the only one who gives a shit about rich, lustrous hair. In other news, a study finds that newborn infants can tell if their parents are losers. A man who just assembled a desk is unsure how he has every screw left over. And Jeff Beck is lured into a dark alley with the old guitar pick on a string trick. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Call in 603-283-6160. Get on the air and talk about anything you would like. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. social.freetalklive.com. In the studio is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Rich.
And we do have a call on the line from David in New Mexico, so we're just going to go straight to him, and then we'll talk about how much vacuums suck afterwards, because I want to get into that story. Hi, David.
Yeah, Bonnie, it's your baby daddy.
Stop it. There's not even like any reference in this episode because Skeeter hasn't been calling in.
Yes, there was. Yeah, here's the tie-in. I changed my last name, Bonnie.
To Freeman.
I'm a big baseball fan.
David Freeman.
No. I'm Slave, man. Slave, just like Prince.
David Slave?
I changed my last name. Huh? What? Huh?
David Slave?
Maybe it's
no,
David,
well,
Mr. Slave? Bonnie Baby Daddy.
Slav, David Slav. You know, the origin of the word, the root of the word slave, Slav.
Yeah.
Slavinovich.
So, yeah. Sounds like Slav. Yeah. So, but no, I'm a big
Yeah,
baseball
see,
fan,
yeah.
Bonnie, and what?
Yeah, see, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What did you change your name to?
I'm a big
David
baseball
from
fan of
Arizona.
especially Jose. What, Richie?
David from Arizona.
It's the same place.
It's the same place.
Same thing.
That's too easy. Although I used to talk to what's his face, pitcher, the 8-figure pitcher, Kurt Schilling. Used to talk to Kurt Schilling on what was it called before it turned into Twitter?
Were you the catcher?
Periscope. No, Bonnie, no gay jokes on Free Talk Live, okay?
You missed the first part of the show then.
Yeah.
Well, I only missed the first half hour. Where did I miss the gay part?
We were talking about the Kamala ad where she's like, where a bunch of guys are like, I'm a real man. I let
heard
my
that.
wife do whatever she wants. Whatever. I don't want to say what I was going to say.
I let other dudes raw dog my wife. That's
Exactly.
That's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm a real man.
Yeah, I'm a
I hold
real
the camera
man.
while my wife is making love.
I'm a real man.
I'm wearing a shirt that says, I'm with
tongue
her.
kiss other men.
Ew.
How did we get here?
It's a sport.
You called in, Dave.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So, the big fan of Jose Concepcion, and I'm an immaculate dresser, Bonnie. Can you see where this is going? So people call me, hey, immaculate. And so you can just call me Immaculate Concepcion. See, I was listening to your earlier program. That proves it.
Yay.
I guess you only
listened.
missed the first half hour. Why do you always
What?
call it at the end then, David? Just wondering. It doesn't matter, but just wondering.
Because I'm actually more interested in listening than calling.
Says the guy who calls in every week.
Every day.
Every day.
He wants
Every day.
to know
Well,
what
no-
we're
no-
talking about so that he has things to talk about.
Nothing better to do. I'm hanging out with rats, dude. I mean, this is a step up. Well, kind of.
Go help your neighbors move their couch again.
It's why they got it where they want it. It's out in the yard.
Go help your other neighbors make more noise.
No, they do that fine all by themselves. Which ones are you talking about? The ones, the black ones, the escape, the
Whichever
runaway
ones
slave?
are the ones that have the generator that's noisy.
That's the escaped slaves from San Bernardino, and they run. Yeah, and thank you very much for that memory. They run that every day for hours to keep they got like 10 dogs in their yard, always yapping. I'm convinced that Lori raises bunnies and puts them in her freezer. That these guys are their freezer's full of dogs.
She
and
puts
that they
them
have to
alive into her freezer.
I do not put them alive into the freezer.
It's horrible.
They're fresher. They're fresher. They're fresher that way.
You can get the bunny adrenochrome that way.
Yeah.
What's wrong with eating dogs? They got Haitian neighbors now? I said, what's wrong with eating dogs?
Well, I do. Yeah, the Haitian neighbor, he's banging the Mexican neighbor.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
They're all
she's got
men.
a lot of room in her trailer for all the dogs. Her
She got
triple wide.
a lot of room. Are you insulting this Mexican lady that she's got a lot of room in there?
I don't know if she has a lot of room in there, but she has a triple wide.
She's got it.
Is that what they call it now?
It is now.
Look at that Kardashian and her triple wide.
Yeah, all these Mexicans are so dumb though. They're triple wide. They didn't even put the three together side by side. I mean, they got them like staggered and separated.
Triple long.
Yeah, triple. Yeah, that's the Haitian dude.
Oh.
Okay, whatever.
They've triangled the homes instead of
No, they
circling the
didn't even.
wagons.
They couldn't even. No. The Mexicans can't do the geography. What's it called
Geometry?
again?
I don't think you think that
that's
about
it.
just like Mexicans at large. You just mean the Mexican neighbors, right, David? Because it seems a lot of the time like you like talk like you like to live around Mexicans is what I've thought before, and then like suddenly you start talking like racist against Mexicans. It's just surprising.
He's been racist against a lot of different groups, though.
I've only
over the
ever seen him be racist against Jews before he
Okay.
got these neighbors, but that's just what I've seen or heard. Whatever.
He just referred to his black neighbors as runaway slaves.
No, but because they're
Okay.
from California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, runaway economic slaves.
Oh, okay.
And otherwise, I mean, political slaves. I mean, they're slaves in all ways. They live in California.
Do you basically just only like white people? Why do you live in New Mexico?
No, I don't like white people either. I'm racist against white people.
David
Hate
just
them
doesn't like
crackers.
anyone.
Freaking honkies, man. The rednecks, white trash. They're horrible.
I think it's great
You're not
that
white, are you?
everyone knows. Like I saw on Twitter, somebody was saying, it was a black guy saying like there was this video of this super trashy, super stupid lady who looked some kind of Hispanic saying, "I say the N word because it's how I grew up saying it." She was just like not egregiously, like just over the top saying it over and over and over again, and gratuitously is what I meant. Just like it wasn't even like it didn't even fit in that sentence. She just had to keep saying it. So a black guy retweeted it and was like, "We just need to start using all of their slurs like just as much as they're using our slurs." And
That's why they use it to begin with.
But the
White people
thing-
were saying it first.
But the thing was in the
They culturally
No.
appropriated the N-word.
He meant we black people need to start saying slurs against Mexicans and white people and blah, blah, blah more often and to stop them from wanting to do this. But the thing was, everyone in the comments, including him, he was like admitting it, was saying, well, it doesn't affect white people. White people don't care. And I just love that because white people don't care.
I don't care. Like I see videos all the time. They're like mayo demons and like
yeah,
all these. I think they're kind of funny.
I think
like
it's
I don't care. It
kind
doesn't
of
hurt
funny.
my feelings.
It couldn't possibly hurt my feelings, and that's the thing. If
They're
white
never
people
good.
lose that, we will become really
That's the
lame.
problem.
The thing is, like when I was a kid, like it was like so funny all the time, like to joke around with like the black kid in your class, like they would be saying something about like, oh well, white people will never change, just like joking that you're a slave owner, whatever. Like it's all a joke and it's all in good fun.
Calling you a cracker.
Never actually offended you. And if white people become, oh my gosh, we are now the ones that get racist against and like I'm really sensitive about it, that will be lame. That will be reverse what you want. I don't want that to happen. Every time I see people being like, woe is me for the white people, I just like, I'm like, don't make us like that, you know?
There's also no term as powerful enough to like not be able to be said against white people yet.
So
they got to create something new.
I feel that should be the case for everybody. If you're letting other people's words affect your well-being so much, then you need to reevaluate your own internal sense of self.
And the thing is, they could so easily flip on this chick that was that made the video and was saying she'll say whatever she wants. It's just because she like sounded dumb as a rock. She sounded like she barely had vocabulary. Like, why are you so stuck on this word that you think makes you sound cool? Like, just absolutely like just like relegate them to like being ghetto for doing that. But also like anyone who says it, in my opinion, like
I don't even know what the P word is for white people. David?
Pusillanimous.
Oh.
Pusillanimous.
Yeah, but
What?
that's
That's
not
not just for
universally
white
white people.
Sure it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
How is it not?
Because you can use it's a term that can describe any race of individuals.
No, it can't describe. To be pusillanimous, you got to be somewhat intelligent. Could only be white people.
Okay, David is just straight a racist. I was that just straight Mexican. I meant to say just straight racist. Sounds like he's.
There are no straight Mexicans. They're
You
all
don't
gay.
think that like Asians are smart? So are you
Yeah,
saying
they're
that
smart.
the P word could mean Asians or white
No,
people?
yeah,
I mean,
No, if it's
anyone could
Asians,
be
they blur
smart.
it out anyway.
Anyone could be
Pixelated,
could
not
be
blurred.
smart.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Pixelated.
All right.
What are you talking? Pixelated what?
Asians.
Pixelated
what-
Asians.
What does this mean?
Why do Asians have to be pixelated? I missed something.
It's a
Explain.
porn joke. It's a porn joke.
Oh, I missed it too.
There you go. Yeah, Japan. I know that thing.
Yeah.
I don't, but it's fine.
Explain it to Bonnie, Richie.
They just pixelate all their porn, like
The
blurred out.
The genitalia is always pixelated.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
Yep.
But
That's why they do the tentacle stuff, because you can get away with
pubic
it.
hair. No pubic hair.
I'm okay with that.
So the funny thing is, so if the Japanese chick or dude is shaved, then there's less pixelation. Isn't that interesting?
Well, they're less pixelation because they're Japanese to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about that area. I'm talking about the area next to that area.
Okay.
just meaning that you don't have to pixelate as much surface.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's
Right.
Just
The
a little
area
line
there,
of
you don't gotta
pixels.
Yeah, like 2 pixels for Japanese dudes.
Oh my
you say
god, that's
pickles
so
or
messed
pickles?
up.
Did you say 2 pickles?
Pixels.
I truly wouldn't know.
Oh.
Never ventured there, so whatever.
Two pickles is a whole different category, whole different genre.
That's the German stuff.
Different than pickles.
Sauerkrauten.
Yeah.
About it. What about fermented cabbage?
Un Sauerkrauten.
Yeah.
One Sauerkrauts. Or whatever.
Oh, wait a minute. Ein.
Oh, I see. I was like, is Un right? I don't know. I don't speak German.
Not quite.
Maybe he's like one of those Nazis that fled to Argentina. There you go.
Pickles und
You're
Sauerkraut
trying to
und
say
pretzels und anti-babypillen.
Krankenwagen.
What is that one?
That's the ambulance.
Ambulance Krankenwagen.
How about
Kartoffel?
Turbogeil?
Oh my god, this is great radio. I'm just like, oh, I know another word in German.
So, David, what did you call out?
I forgot.
Oh.
So, and tell me, sell your state. Tell me some cool places to go and things to do that focus on.
It's just mostly knowing
Boston.
people. That's the thing. It's not like there's just some cool thing going on in some little region every day. It's like the people. When
no,
you
there is.
get
Go
here,
to the Free State Project calendar. There's something
That's-
cool going on like every day.
well, that's what I meant. Like, there's not like, oh, go to this building.
Oh, David, I'll tell you.
No.
New England is the
Well,
most
let me
beautiful
finish
place.
Wait a minute. You can tell me, but let me finish the question first.
Okay.
I was trying to ask about stuff that is nature, like
I was
cool
just gonna
lakes
tell
and
you.
streams.
Like
Okay,
everywhere,
cool, do it.
basically.
Yeah, everywhere.
There's rocks and apples. That's it.
New Hampshire is beautiful, and it is literally a forest with little towns stuck inside of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you go is gorgeous. Even driving down the highway is beautiful.
You can crawl. I don't know why I said crawl. You can climb Mount Monadnock on multiple different starting points and go up there. There's lots of state parks. The thing about New England is like, I loved living in Utah where you could just be like, I'm going to go there. Okay, now I'm going to go there. It's like you can't just do that because there's a lot of private property here, which is like definitely a libertarian.
Oh darn!
I
Too
know.
much private property.
I know. It's a what's the word, paradigm for me and multiple of my Western libertarian friends.
There's a lot of private property, but also like the forests and stuff are public land. Like you can hunt on land unless it's posted. So like I
That
assume that you could
confuses
just
me.
walk through there too.
But if you don't know and you're on someone's land, they're going to shoot you.
Maybe.
That scares me. But at the same time, I don't need it. I
Just
don't
buy a hunting vest.
I used to, like, I would have felt restricted if I couldn't just go climb up some mountain that looked cool in Utah. But now I feel that it's totally fine because there are so many places that are, like, set up for you to walk that I couldn't even do them all if I wanted to. Definitely not in a year. It would take multiple years.
You can drive around here in like the early morning or late evening before the sun goes all the way down. You can see like moose and deer and foxes and coyotes and
I saw
real
an
coyotes,
otter the
not
other day.
western coyotes, which are like
and wild
tiny.
turkeys.
Yeah, Western coyotes are not as cute, or like the ones here are beautiful, and I've seen one now. And I saw an otter the other day. So just this year, I have seen a bear while driving, an otter, which I didn't even know they lived
While
here.
driving?
And the thing was, I was on the phone with Ian, and I was like, Ian, I'm looking at a beaver, but I knew it wasn't beaver. But anyways, it was so cute. It was covered in water still, and it was crossing to get to where the water was on the other side of the road, and it could barely walk straight because it's like, you know, a half aquatic kind of animal. It had like a weird walk. It was so cute. And I've seen the beautiful, I was like, there was like some kind of a wolf, and I didn't know that Western and
Coyote.
Eastern coyotes are different. It looks like a bigger than a husky, really beautiful husky thing.
They look like wolves with real long skinny legs. Basically.
Like
I've
the
not
one that
seen a
killed-
moose.
what?
I live in the city. I've
Like
seen
the one
none of
that
this.
killed the girl.
That killed what?
There was a coyote that killed a girl, like in Connecticut or something.
Oh, that's creepy.
Was it rabid?
No,
Oh.
just mean.
Also, I saw some sort of a wild cat that like I have not ID'd online yet.
A lynx?
It wasn't that. I've looked up all the things people have suggested.
Was
to
it a
me.
Fisher cat?
No. That's the first thing I thought when I
What the
realized
heck?
it wasn't a bobcat. It was like orange, and it had like a tiger stripe type back, and its back or its tail was not like bushy like a bobcat or like any of the cats I've looked, or mountain lion. It was not a mountain lion. Mountain lions' faces are all like puffy.
No.
This thing had like
Mountain
short,
lions are
thick
not
fur.
puffy. Mountain lions are like a tawny brown color, and their faces look like a house
Well, I've looked
cat,
them up.
like a big house cat.
Whenever I had just seen it, I looked them up, and that the mountain lion ones, they have more points fluff to their face, and it wasn't that. This thing had like orangey like reddish brown fur,
But not a tiger.
a black, but it was
It's a tiger
tiny.
cat.
It was so much bigger than a normal cat. It was not a normal cat, but it was so much smaller than a tiger.
Was
That's
it
a
fox?
mountain lion. They're not floopy.
Oh, that's not what I'm thinking of. I was mixing mountain lion with
I think you're thinking of a bobcat.
bobcat, but either way,
or,
it's not
or lynx.
that.
They have fluffy faces.
It was not that, and it was not a mountain lion, and it was not a lynx.
Are you sure it wasn't just like
They're
someone's
And I
Maine
got-
Coon cat?
Yes, and I got a fantastic look at it for multiple seconds. It crossed the road, and I had already slowed way down because I was like, is there like, I don't know, a fox in the road? But the tail was not fox. The
It's a
tail was
raccoon in a Halloween costume.
it was like this long, but thin and thick, but not long
Hold that
fur.
pose, Bonnie.
and
Somebody
I
crop
still
that.
figured out what the heck that thing was, and everybody I've said it to gives me, oh, was it blah blah, was it blah blah, and it wasn't. I've Googled them all. So I almost like, did somebody have some kind of a pet that got away in Fitzwilliam, New Hampshire, that I saw, and also
tabby.
it was
Talk
all.
to Matt Roach. It's Bigfoot's
It was
pet.
not an orange tabby, and it had this like extremely anxious look on his face. And once it crossed the road and it stopped there, it turned towards like the cars in general, and like had its tail kind of wrap around itself and looked like, oh no, what do I do now? Like I felt like it was like lost. It could have
You're
been a
sure
pet.
that it was not a Maine Coon cat?
Positive.
Because they're like 30 pounds.
I'm not joking. Have you seen? I've had a
Maybe
Maine
it was
Coon
a
cat
baby
actually.
of something else, and that's why you're not finding adult
How
pictures
about a
of it.
Norwegian forest cat?
I don't know what that is.
It's like a Maine
Well,
Coon.
look it up.
Well, I don't want to right now. I've also heard there's this theory that many people have seen, and no, I'm not saying that's what this is. Many people have seen panthers in places where panthers supposedly don't exist. So I'm open to the idea that it's a cat that's so rare that it's something that people would say, oh, here's a picture, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's it. And then they'll be like, yeah, well, that doesn't exist in that area of the country.
It's a Maine Coon first thing in the
Was
morning.
it a baby mountain lion?
No. It was
It's a
first of all,
Maine
it was like
Coon
very
first in the morning
orange.
before it put on its makeup.
That's why my first guess, and I meant like guess because I was like, I literally like I was alone and I was like, what am I looking at out loud?
It was orange like a tiger, had stripes like a tiger, but definitely not a tiger.
It was like when
Oh.
it sat down its butt, but its head was still up. It was like this tall.
Baby tiger.
Maybe it was, what are they called?
Wendigo.
Bengal cat.
Bengal cat. I don't think I looked that one up.
What are they called?
Bengal cats?
Yeah, but not. There's another one that's like a house cat. But they're huge.
And the other thing I saw, I've seen so many dead porcupines, unfortunately. And the thing is, when David gets here, he's just gonna attract them all.
Savannah cat.
All the porcupines. No, there'll be some left for you.
Not just porcupines. I mean, like all of these things I'm talking about that I've seen this year. You're gonna attract all of them. You're probably gonna
Yeah,
see moose before me.
Everywhere I go, I'll be dragging a crowd of like 30 different animal types all following me.
I believe it. Well, you said you want me to sell you on. Whoa, that is really pretty and more similar than the other things people have seen, but like that crazy head is not. And also, like the tail is short.
They all look
That-
alike.
Oh wait, that tail isn't as short. That looks way more like it than other things, but that looks more like a normal cat. This thing's face was definitely not normal cat.
Weird.
It got into a fight right before Bonnie saw
Bonnie
it.
saw a cryptid.
Its tail was also
I was just
really
gonna say that,
long.
cryptid.
I don't know what that is.
A cryptid?
Yeah.
It's an animal that is purported to not exist.
Oh,
like
okay.
like a Bigfoot or a chupacabra or
I've actually met people that are like, no, I saw a panther. I don't care. I saw a real panther, a black panther in Utah. So I would believe
They were
it.
there for a rally.
Because the thing is,
so
like,
a panther is just a cougar. A cougar is just a mountain lion, and there are melanated varieties of many animals. Like, have you ever seen black squirrels?
all I know is like there are places
same-
where people will be
same
like,
idea.
no, that doesn't
Bandana
exist in this area.
I just said melanated, but it's
I've seen a black
melanistic.
squirrel. Me and Ian saw a black squirrel together, and it was really cute.
Melanated. That's like the girls that dance at the topless bar, right? Melanated.
Nope.
What?
No.
Because they have melons.
When they get
Oh,
implants,
I
they're
thought you were
melanated.
saying like only black girls do it. I was like, what?
No. They're melanated. When they get
No. David wouldn't be racist. He would never.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a lynx. It's not that, right?
It's not that.
Okay.
But that's closer to it than like
You got to
the
hold
thing
it up
is,
to
like,
the
that has,
camera
like, this
too, so
big
that everyone can
face.
see it.
They also can Google.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I bet.
I don't know.
Oh wait a minute. Hey, where's this chat that Turd was talking about? I got to see Turd's taste in women.
You have to go to the Matrix chat. So
Yeah.
What's the quick link? Do you guys know?
Chat.freetalklive.com.
Chat.freetalklive.com.
Yeah, or if you just go to Free Talk Live's website, there will be a link to all of that stuff, and it'll walk you through it step by step on
Good
how to
luck
set
getting
it up.
on the Matrix server.
I
though.
didn't find it that hard.
I needed help.
It tells you exactly how to do it on the website.
I followed the here's the thing. I followed the instructions on my device, and it didn't work. I had to use a PC to set it up and then log in from my device afterwards.
That may be the sweet spot, because one time I got locked out of mine and Ian couldn't get it back on my phone. He was really confused, but the way we figured out was doing it on my PC first and logging on my phone.
I don't know. I didn't have a problem, and I feel like if you just go there and follow the instructions, you probably won't have a problem either.
And if you have a problem, do it from a PC.
Yeah.
Because it was the only thing. And again, I asked Ian too. I'm like, hey, Ian, I followed the instructions. I'm not dumb. I'm not a Luddite. Right? Let's figure this out. And he's like, I have no idea. Just try it from the PC. I'm like, all right.
I'm surprised David's just never heard of this.
603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
What's the difference between a stoplight and a school bus?
A stoplight is a light, and a school bus is a school bus.
Full of children.
Right. So
That's a good
The light
lad.
doesn't have any kids in it.
That's what you call a derelict, educated derelict.
yeah,
You gotta come out of Harvard.
I'm really not a derelict. I work for a
You
living.
are an educated derelict. Well,
Barbara,
you know what?
I agree with
Have
you.
fun, play your game.
No.
You're a
Because I tell you
fornicator,
what,
Mark.
When
Barbara.
you pass that next red light, I sure hope they get you good. Now,
Barbara,
hope you don't kill anybody.
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, she hung up on you, Mark.
But I agree with you, Barbara. I was telling you that I agree with you, except for the stoplight thing.
Children, Mark. There's children around at every red light. You could possibly kill someone.
This, by the way, gentlemen.
If you would run a red light at 3 a.m. when there's no traffic as far as the eye can see, then you would just as soon run over a school bus and kill all the kids inside.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. The UN Secretary-General is condemning the growing number of civilian casualties in northern Gaza as Israeli military operations resume there. Antonio Guterres is warning that civilians must be protected at all times amid reports that people queuing for food were targeted by an Israeli military assault at the Jabalia refugee camp. Israel says it is investigating those reports. Meanwhile, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says indirect messages between Tehran and Washington have stopped due to the worsening regional situation. From FSN's bureau in Baghdad, Stuart Smith reports.
Foreign Minister Araghchi noted that Oman had previously been a useful indirect channel of communication between Iran and the United States, which is Israel's strongest military ally, but that, Araghchi said, had stopped due to the escalation of fighting in the Middle East over the past few weeks. Communication will not resume, he said, until the crisis is over. The region is on edge, awaiting Israel's response to Iran's rocket attack earlier in the month. Tel Aviv has promised it'll be lethal, precise and surprising, a plan which has reportedly been decided upon but awaits political approval.
In the US presidential election, both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are campaigning on Monday in Pennsylvania after weekend polls showed the race completely deadlocked nationally. The vice president has again urged her rival to release his medical records after she made hers public over the weekend. She's also launched a new initiative to win the votes of African American men after former President Barack Obama said last week that he is concerned by reports that some of them oppose the idea of a black woman in power. Kamala Harris spoke today to prominent black journalist Roland Martin.
Having the lowest black unemployment in recent history. The work that we have done that has been about investing in black businesses, the work that we have done that has been about understanding the importance of having representation at every level. Your vote does matter. It is because folks voted that we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month, that we are on the path to doing what I intend to do, which is saying that your medical debt cannot be on your credit score.
Russia has jailed a French researcher for 3 years, accusing him of breaking the country's law governing foreign agents. Laurent Vinatier was arrested in June. He worked for a Swiss NGO focused on conflict resolution and denied all the charges against him, saying he was unaware his registration as a foreign agent was required. The Europa Clipper, NASA's latest spacecraft, has begun its 1.8 million-mile journey to reach Europa, a moon orbiting Jupiter. It aims to hunt for signs of life, but won't reach its destination, if all goes well, until 2030. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live, 603-283-6160. I'd like to thank Rev for being amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Rev went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks to Rev and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. In the studio tonight is Lori,
Bonnie,
and Richie Rich.
I think David had something else to say, so we're going to go back to David and find out, and then we do have another call on the line as well. It gets exciting. It gets exciting at the end of the night. Everybody calls in.
Okay. Stagger this stuff.
Yeah.
David?
I know. Everybody needs to coordinate all the callers, so they're just calling in all over the place.
No, just call at the beginning of the show and you'll be on hold.
Yeah.
You need to start just using Calendly or something.
What's that?
It's a calendar app.
Yeah, and then your callers can just schedule themselves.
You can call in between 9 and 10.
Not
Or
even a
between-
bad idea if we had like too many callers. I just don't think we have enough for that, but it could be not even a bad idea.
Don't do it.
Not something I want to be like in charge of that I have to do, but if they could do it themselves somehow.
You'd have to set up the Calendly and put the different times that they could call in. And then I don't even know if
Then
you could
they'd have
integrate
to-
out the phone system because people could call randomly anyway.
They would also, I was going to say they'd have to stick to it.
Not happening. Do it in the chat.
You're saying Sarah can't follow directions? That's what you're saying?
She can't use the internet.
Yeah, I'd probably say that.
Sarah said she doesn't use the internet. She has to go to the library if she wants to.
What?
She doesn't have a smartphone. She at least said that like over a year ago. Maybe that's changed.
I'm shocked she hasn't gotten one from the government since they hand them out.
That's a good point.
My
I don't
Obama
think she's. I don't even think she's saying that she can't afford it though. It's that she doesn't want to. Like she doesn't want the responsibility.
Or maybe because then they can track her and know that she doesn't deserve disability because she's out doing stuff all day.
Then she'll get addicted to Facebook and get in fights with people on X.
Communism is
gosh.
good, actually.
Yes, that would start a fight.
So what else, David?
Well, that was basically, if you got somebody else, just go ahead and go to them. I was just wanted to ask you about your favorite rivers, lakes, streams, seashores, mountains, and stuff. But
Honestly, everywhere. Everywhere. There's so much here. There's so much forests and lakes, and you can go to the actual ocean on the beach, and like there's mountains.
There's
caves. There's so much.
Yeah, but I knew all of that already.
I'll tell you. There's
It's all
this
beautiful.
place in oh man, where is it exactly? It's if I go on 101, it's like around Peterborough. That's what I'd say. Like right outside Peterborough, even if it's technically some small town, whatever. That's called oh man, I forget what it's called. Miller State Park. Miller State Park, and when you get there, you can crawl up a tower that you can see Boston from that tower.
That's
and
cool.
There's like lots of different spots there that have little signs up that are telling you what ridge, because you're up on top of a mountain, but you can see the tops of all these other mountains, and on a clear day you can even see Boston, like I said. And there will be signs that will tell you which mountains you're looking at and stuff like that. And the next one I want to go to is Gap Mountain because it's owned privately, and it just sounds like a cool thing.
One of the nice things
As it
about
should be.
one of the nice things about New Hampshire is that all the states are really small. So even if there's something you want to do in another state, like surrounding here, you can get there in like an hour or like 2 hours,
including
as a
Canada.
Max.
I've
Yeah,
actually
you can just go to Canada, right?
I've never been to Rhode Island still, so sometime
Rhode Island doesn't count.
I just want to go there to check it off. I'm
Yep.
just going to do that one day. It's only like 4 hours away. And the other thing I want to do is go to Salem, Massachusetts. And I really want to go this October, to be honest. I just know it's going to be very packed.
Yes, it will be.
It's too touristy.
It's going to be annoying. I'm sure
If you
it is.
if you go at like any time, it's always the same Salem. So like it's not really, you don't have to go in October.
That makes sense. And I'm sure like I'd be able to see the same museums and stuff, but it wouldn't be October.
There's no mock witch trials.
There still is. Like people still dress up
You
like
can have
witches
your
and
own.
stuff. It's
I just mean the weather.
It's one of those like working villages or whatever they are.
okay.
Like
Yeah, those are cool.
Williamsburg.
Yeah.
That's
All
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah, it's like that. But you could go in November and like Halloween will
that's a
be
good point.
over and it'll still be fall.
Yeah, and that will actually make November more fun because sometimes November is depressing to me.
Is it?
Until Thanksgiving, yeah.
I spend my November like planning what I'm going to make for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I love that too, yeah.
Mhm.
But this year my sister's not here.
Turducken.
Hate
I've
that
done it twice.
idea. I don't know why. I just hate turkey.
Stu hates turkey too. So
And
we
I-
usually don't do turkey.
I just made 2 J-Noon chickens last Thanksgiving. It was like everybody loved that. Oh, Riley said it was good.
I think last year I did duck.
I need
She's
to
been
try
wanting duck.
Duck.
What is that supposed to mean?
I
Didn't
didn't
you just
invite
say
you
you wanted to
over.
try duck?
I didn't
Yeah.
invite you over.
I know you're like, what's wrong with you, Lori?
Yes. We
I
know
had
Bon-
2
like, you
chickens.
do another duck, and then Bonnie will finally get to eat a duck.
Next time I have a duck hookup, so next time I make
Oh,
duck.
nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the call, David. You'll enjoy it here. It's beautiful. So next we have Kadu in Connecticut. Now that I know how to say his name. Hi, Kadu.
Bonnie, did you buy your oyster extract yet?
No, I didn't tell you I was gonna buy it. I was just simply like,
No, I
oh,
didn't.
good. Let me know what it does for you, etc. But I just can eat oysters by themselves. I'm fine with that. Actually, you know what I tried
What
the other
is
day?
oyster extract supposed to do
Have
for
you
you?
actually
told me-
have you actually eaten oysters before? Like,
Oh yeah, I love raw oysters when I can get them. I had
my
mussels
God.
the other day that were fantastic, but I made the mistake of opening up the little flap and being like, "What is that stuff inside them?" It's like their heart and their guts and stuff.
Yeah, they're a living
God.
animal.
I'm a
I've,
man.
I've only
I shuck
ever
my
had
oysters for
one.
Kamala.
I've only
Shucking
ever
your
had
oysters
one.
sounds dirty.
I've only ever had one this last summer, and it was a fried one, so I didn't even get
mussel?
the real thing. But no, it was a fried oyster at some restaurant. Because I'm afraid to eat these things. I would never eat the raw.
Well, one way
The
to
raw
get it
thing.
So good.
is canned, and then it's it's not raw. It's still pretty fishy. In fact, if you eat it raw, you don't have that like seawater taste in your mouth for 30 minutes. But if
All right. Don't get it
But they
canned if
are-
you're in New England. You can go
I like
go
both, though.
along the whole coast and get all the seafood you want fresh.
But they are really good for you, and if you eat enough of them, there's a potent sexual side effect.
that's what he
Aphrodisiac.
was telling me about the oyster extract.
No.
But I'm sure they're the thing is, like, I would think the whole food oysters like has more nutrition for you because it's got stuff that you really need, like copper. And why would you want the extract instead? I would think if for some reason you really need something sexual related and it helps you with that, go for it.
Just
But
fold the oyster and tongue it first.
yeah,
I don't take it for that reason, though. That just is a notable side effect. Like,
oh, that's what you meant.
I only notice it when I take like four of the pills, but I also take that as a sign, like that the sexual side effect as like a sign that it's doing something in general, a sign that you're getting the nutrients you need. Because like a lot of times you could take all kind of supplements and things, and you notice nothing.
Yeah.
And so to get any kind of effect at all, it could be a sign that it's doing something. But what I was going to call about was you're talking about like animal sightings. I was going to talk about some. Have you ever seen any of these foxes around New Hampshire? I saw a fox the other night walking around.
Yeah, I've seen a baby fox.
What kind?
Me?
Yeah,
I
what
don't
kind of
even
fox?
know what
Like a
kind.
red fox or a gray
I don't
fox?
even
Oh,
know.
I've definitely seen
I think-
only like red ones. I don't think I've ever seen a
want to
gray
say
one.
red, but I'm not sure.
Are they like notably gray?
When we lived in Henniker, there was like a family of gray fox that would come and mess with the livestock.
Oh, I've seen these before.
Mhm.
I guess I just kind of forgot they exist. I don't know that I've seen one in person. I've definitely seen way more red ones. But these ones are like, they're gray, but they've got a little red on like the bottom, the middle. I feel like maybe I've seen these. I've definitely at least seen pictures, but yeah, in New Hampshire, I've seen countless like fox. And in fact, in I think August, me and a friend were just like talking about how we saw them so much. It seems like it's some kind of season for them.
Mating season.
Yeah.
Like, is that mating
I don't
season?
know.
Because it's not like spring. So I thought that was really weird because that's when I saw the baby. It was more like adolescent. It was all by itself. At least like that's the only one I saw it.
It was like 3 a.m. when I saw it, so I have a feeling like they're only kind of wandering around when they sense there's no threat.
They're definitely
But,
very like keep to themselves. And also, me and Ian heard a crazy screaming in our neighborhood one time, and like when we were like, I don't know if we recorded it and played it for Matt, or we just went and told Matt about it. He was like, "That was a fox having sex."
Mm-hmm. Also, one time when I was a little kid, I heard like this crazy screaming.
It's funny that he noticed that like just on the audio alone.
Yeah, I don't remember if we recorded it or just told him, but
Okay.
Matt knows a lot of animal noises. Matt knows
Matt knows
noise.
a lot of Matt.
I
I'm
heard
another
this
one of them.
this
Yeah.
crazy
Mine is
screaming, and it like traumatized me and my sister because it was the middle of the night, right? And everybody else in the house asleep. We were up in our room, and now that I'm older, I know that it was a rabbit being eaten.
Oh,
Oh,
because don't they make like a sound that people say is like a baby?
It's like a scream when they're freaking out. Like if they're injured, they like scream, like squeal scream.
I heard like a
awful.
baby crying outside of my backyard. There was no baby to be found. And when I told my mom about that, and she came outside and listened and stuff, she said it was just a rabbit. But I don't think it was being eaten. It wasn't like baby crying like on at the top of its lungs. It was more like wah wah, like little ones. And I was like, Mama, I think there's a baby abandoned outside.
No,
And
it was
apparently
probably
it's a
some other
rabbit.
kind of animal.
But
though.
don't when cats have sex, don't they make a sound like they're getting murdered?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've definitely heard that too.
I don't know if that was it, but so I had a few others. There was also a hawk here the other day that like snatched. I've been watching the hawks. I guess it's like hawk season. The last, yeah, right. The last few months I've been watching, and they've been up there. But the other day, one of them snatched like some kind of rat or something from the yard, and then it flew off with it. And they're actually beautiful birds. I don't know, like I guess eagles are. I guess eagles or bald eagles are maybe more popular, but the hawks are actually beautiful birds. I've been watching.
I
them.
agree. I've seen tons of hawks in Utah. I don't know if I've seen any here, but I just saw them so often in Utah. And I saw one up close because it was like injured on the side of the road. I like, pulled over and looked at it. And it was like, "Don't get near me." And I was like, I am not going to get near this thing. So I called like the non-emergency number for like the cops or something like that. And I really hope that somebody went and helped it and that nobody hit it or
cop showed up
anything.
and shot it.
I know, right? I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't a libertarian, but
Oh, okay.
And I've also seen a bald eagle, and I think those are really cool too. But hawks are just like they're less brought up and also super beautiful. Me and Ian's favorite bird right now, because we birdwatch the whole time I visit him in prison, are nuthatches. They're like these tiny black and white birds, and they woodpeck like a woodpecker. They're awesome, just so cute. And they
So
scoot
I
around.
also
Sorry.
I like owls.
No, you go.
I love owls too.
They're the best ones.
Haven't seen one in New Hampshire, but I've heard one with Ian.
Go
So
on.
I also want to make a case for one of the most maligned creatures out there, which is a skunk. And I listen to these podcasts. I got a chair in my garage, and I sit in my garage and listen to the podcast on the phone. And recently, I think I saw a skunk the other night, and it looked at me, and I looked at it, and for a while there was only this scratching in the garage. It was under something and making some noise, and I guess it found a home in the garage. And like, you know, skunks are known for their terrible smell, and I always had the impression of well, they just want to smell. They just want to put a terrible smell on anyone they can every chance they get, and just spray everyone with some terrible scent. But I'm pretty sure I had a skunk here.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's a
probably
defense mechanism.
It is.
To repel predators.
In your garage?
Yeah.
It was living in the garage? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It was in the garage, and then I actually saw it for a second.
Cute.
And my impression was that, like, if there was ever a skunk right near me, I was going to smell like crap immediately, because if I was ever that close to a skunk, I was going to start smelling like crap. But this has been going on for a couple of weeks. I haven't gotten sprayed. And so maybe skunks aren't as bad as people assume. I don't know.
So, well, like they give you a warning first. No animal wants to use its defense as the first thing it does because that's biological resources that they have to rebuild. And when you have to struggle for everything that you eat, it doesn't make sense to just waste it like that. That's why a lot of snakes do like dry bites and things like that.
Or rattle at you.
Or rattle at you. The snakes in Arizona are like evolving to not rattle.
Okay.
Because they end up getting like
Found
killed.
out. Well,
Oh, if they rattle?
If they rattle. So
Yeah.
like people will kill them and stuff. And so the ones that don't rattle end up living and passing that down, which is a terrifying thought.
Yes.
Rattlesnakes that don't rattle at you? No, thank you.
Just call them snakes at that point.
Right.
My mom had
Unrattle snakes.
My mom had a pet skunk when she was a kid. She said they make really good pets.
I
And
want one.
It was
They're
so
so
cute. And it's obviously de-skunked or whatever. You know,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
took out the gland. And the thing was, she lived near the University of Auburn at the time, and they still believe to this day that some liberal college kids freed it because whenever they were gone, it lived in a cage outside, which is like normal. Like rabbits live in cages like outside.
I don't think I'd keep a skunk outside though, because that's more like a cat.
I don't know. Either way, they didn't want it inside whenever they were gone. And so whenever, like when they were home, it could be inside. But whenever they were gone, it lived in a cage. And so somebody came and freed it. So
I want
they
a skunk
think it was
and I want a possum. Opossum.
Oh, I saw a possum while driving the other day too. And I had
Everybody
to
thinks they're
swerve.
ugly, but I think they're super cute.
Their tails are gross, but I do think they
Their
are cute.
face is gross too.
No, they're
I think they're cute other than their tail.
Rat face, rat tail.
And the same thing with
And they're chill.
All right.
what are they called? The things that roll up. In
Armadillos.
Armadillos are cute, but their tails and their texture just makes me think of like the naked tail of a rat.
I don't like armadillos because they carry leprosy, so
Yeah.
like they're automatically not
Oh,
cute.
okay.
There's that too. I think
Weird.
they're cute,
Alright.
but I wouldn't want to touch it.
Yeah.
Wait,
you
so
know what's
what's
ugly?
the-
Nutrients. Nutria.
Nutria,
I
yeah.
saw one in Alabama this year, just in a pile of crap near my grandma's house.
It's just a rat.
Huge, disgusting looking
Huge
thing.
rats.
I was
Alright.
like, I tried taking a picture. I technically have a picture, but it's like so blurry because I didn't want to get near it because I was like, its head was just like this big for a rat looking thing. I was like, what am I looking at? And my grandma told me it was a nutria.
Yeah, we got basically muskrats. Same thing.
She said that they carry nasty stuff too, so she's scared of it.
Yeah, rodents are gross. But opossums are not so gross. They they have a lower body temperature than most mammals, and so they're like resistant to rabies,
Okay.
which is really cool, and they eat ticks.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
That's a good
like a
reason.
chicken.
Also cool.
That's one reason that it'd be great to
They
have
don't
chickens.
taste as good.
Was the possum and was the possum and opossum distinction in what they're called just based on geographic location?
They're
Are
two
they the
different
same
animals.
creature?
They're two different
they
animals.
are.
Yeah, a possum, like possum, is in Australia, and it's like this cute little fuzzy brown, adorable creature. And then opossums are like the ones with the naked tail and the pink face and the white fur.
I also have been seeing so many raccoons, and I love them. They're so cute and pretty,
I hate
and
raccoons.
they're just terrifying. But I know a guy in I know a guy whose family lives in Massachusetts, and his mom and dad, they befriend wild raccoons. They feed them, and they become their like outdoor pets, kind of.
No
and
way.
he said that they're like a little evil, but like they can become friendly.
They're like the second biggest vector for rabies,
Whoa,
other than
terrifying.
bats. So no,
It's
thank
funny
you.
you said that because I was going to mention raccoons because last year I had a raccoon, and no matter how many, it is crazy this thing.
Wow.
Like I would think wild animals would be scared, of people that seem to go against it. I was shooing this thing away like. It had to be like a dozen times. It would come up to me, and I'd shoo it away like and then in like 30 seconds, the thing would be right back up. And
That's how I
it's
felt about
waiting for
a
something.
skunk
It
last
thinks
or
it's gonna,
2
it
years
thinks
ago.
it's going to get food. It thinks
Yeah.
it's going to get fed.
Wow.
Raccoons they don't care.
It's
They're
probably 'cause
so
people-
habituated to being near people because that's where they live. Raccoons are inherently going to be near people because they eat trash and things like that. So they don't care what you do. Like I had one that was coming into my backyard. I had quail on my porch, and they were ripping them through the cage.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I culled all my quail because I was like, we're not going to let that happen again. And then I hatched new eggs, and I put them up high where they can't be got to by a raccoon unless they can fly.
Have you
But they
seen-
cannot.
Can't they climb?
Well, it's like attached to the wall of the shed, so like there's
Oh,
nothing
okay.
to climb up.
All right.
So, but like it would still come into the yard looking for them afterwards, and like I'd throw stuff at it, and it just did
Climb
not
on each
care.
other's shoulders with a
It would
trench
just
coat.
stare at me from the yard.
Have you heard of the pygmy possums?
No. Is there
This
even
like
tinier
its
possums?
actual size, not a baby.
cute.
I didn't know. I wanted to see the difference between the Australian possum and the, and they're much cuter.
Yeah, they're much cuter.
But then my Google started showing me pygmy possums, and they're like the
Down the
most
rabbit hole she
amazing
goes.
hamster you've ever seen. Down the possum hole. This is like if
For Kamala.
if I
I'm a man.
it's like
I
a
go down
sugar
the
glider.
possum
I had a
hole.
sugar,
and then I shuck
Why
my
did
oysters.
possum hole sound so dirty? I don't know.
I had a
That is
sugar
all in
glider
your
as a
head,
kid. Kind of looks like a sugar glider. Which those things are so cute because they do the flying squirrel thing where they jump and then they put their arm skin out.
I think sugar gliders are just flying squirrels, aren't they?
No, because they're like smaller and black and white. Flying squirrels are like actually bigger and look more like a squirrel.
And in color in HD.
Yes. The other day I saw, I mean, maybe they're a type of flying squirrel, but there is such thing as a flying squirrel. It looks much more like a regular squirrel. And I saw a video of one the other day that he knocked over a broom and then he was like, crap, what do I do?
Oh, and then played dead.
Yes, you saw that?
That's an old video. I've seen
Oh,
that
okay.
a long
Yeah, he
time
went
ago.
and got under the broom and pretended to be dead as if it just fell on him and it wasn't his fault. I couldn't
Yep.
believe how smart it was.
I saw one when I was a kid. I was
Oh.
in like I was in Girl Scouts and we were in this big auditorium thing, and I was in the back room like causing a ruckus by myself because that's what I would do. So I was back there like
Smoking in the
being
back
nosy
room.
and like looking around and stuff, wandering around, and something like crawled out, and it was like a little flying squirrel sugar glider thing.
Oh my
It
God.
was so cute.
So do you think it was like somebody's pet or something? Like, do they live in America?
Yeah, they live in America.
I always thought that they were like, you had to get them from somewhere else.
No.
And ship
It's
them here.
Kamala letting in all the immigrant animals.
Koala.
Koala.
That's why she's doing it.
Koala's
For the
letting all
koalas.
immigrant animals.
That's right.
Stealing
Koalas
your
are pretty
food.
cute.
Open borders.
I've heard that they're like way meaner.
Yeah, why don't
than
animals
you think.
have borders to worry about?
Koalas are like infected as a whole with gonorrhea, so also not cute anymore, and they're mean.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Okay.
They have such a cute little black nose.
they're gross.
But that's terrifying that
They're
you
disgusting.
just said.
Is that how
Are there
gonorrhea
any in
spreads
the
to humans?
U.S.?
What?
Are there any in the U.S.?
Koalas?
I don't think. I mean,
No,
not
they're-
naturally.
They're in. I mean, like in zoos, but they're from Australia.
They're just. Imagine this thing didn't have gonorrhea. So cute.
That's what I
But
said
it
about
does
most
probably.
people.
But it does probably. Yeah.
You'd be so much cuter if you didn't have gonorrhea.
Yep.
I can't think of anything cuter than gonorrhea.
Open with that with the chick at the gym, turd.
If you're a man,
If you're a man.
Mhm.
For Kamala.
Lower your voice and be like, "Do you have gonorrhea?"
it's fine if you do.
But you'd be a whole lot cuter without it.
Exactly. See?
He's like,
Yes,
haha,
you-
it's just a
you-
joke about koalas, man. So stupid.
Hey, baby, you're cute like a koala because you got gonorrhea.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Getting
Yeah.
pretty creepy. and honestly, koalas aren't like, oh my god, top 10 cute. It's just that I kind of had to
Top
be
20?
I had to have a refresh
What's your
on what they look
ranking
like.
on this?
And now I'm looking, I'm like, they're really cute, but not as cute anywhere near the pygmy
They're
possum.
super mean.
And that's what I've learned recently. So I was like, man, that really sucks.
Are they?
Sloths are cuter.
Bonnie's referencing her animal fetish chart.
That's not
10.
what I'm doing.
Top 10 cutest animals.
I'm so
Which
annoyed.
animal would I date?
Ew. I'm so annoyed that
Top
AI has
10.
taken over Google Images
Top
because
10.
I look up
Sexiest
sloth
animal.
cute and nothing like what you guys are saying.
Oh, I love sloths.
And it's like going to be a bunch of freaking AI pictures. Like, I don't care about that. I don't want to see a cartoon cute sloth. I want to see a real one.
When I took my kids to the science museum, they had a sloth and it was like asleep. And we went to go turn the corner, and then I saw it like start climbing down, and I was like, "We have to go back."
Oh my gosh, so cute.
So like it came down and it was like drinking water and stuff. It was
Smiling.
the highlight of my trip.
Smiling and just like
I love
proud of
them
himself.
so much.
They don't seem like they could be mean because they're
No,
slow.
they're so slow. What would they even do to you?
I don't know.
Slowly press that long claw
You
into
just
you.
Yeah, they have
back
crazy
away.
claws.
No.
What could they even do? They'd be like,
He looks like he's
by
saying,
the time it got to
"Want
you,
some?"
you'd be gone.
If you tripped and fell and broke your leg and you couldn't get anywhere and you got a sloth clawing at you and you can't escape it, that's like a slow and painful death.
They also have bowl cuts.
They're gonna dig in slow.
Those are the cutest ones, the ones with the bowl cuts.
Bowl cuts.
Yeah,
so
and
funny.
like the Ray-Ban glasses lying on their face. Yeah, those are the cutest ones. But like they don't have the muscle power to hurt you.
It's gonna make it even worse because it's gonna be slowly.
You know how they say
scraping
that
it.
Amelia Earhart was eaten by crabs?
Yeah, coconut crabs.
Terrifying.
But she was dead already.
Oh, okay. Well,
They didn't hunt her down.
You don't know this.
Yeah.
I was there. 603-283-6160. This has been Free Talk Live. We've been great. You had a fantastic time. Thanks for listening.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real life.